Is it finally time to stop sleeping on the Minnesota Timberwolves? Anthony Edwards, Rudy Gobert, Julius Randle, and y'all know the rest of the characters on that team. Now, the Wolves are on a 5-game winning streak, and they are tied for 5th in the West. So, fellas, how are we feeling about the Wolves? Are you high on them? Are you low on them? Are you sleep on them? Are you woke?
Woke?
Oh, yeah.
I think he meant awake. I don't know. I remember I said this was happening because we spoke about the Wolves. Maybe was it a month ago? Maybe less than a month ago. Because they were on a little streak, and then we said they had the easiest schedule in the league coming up, and what was going to happen was they were going to run through the league for the rest of their season, and we was going to talk about the Wolves' legitimate championship contenders because they're playing against bums the whole time. And here we are. This is what we're doing today. So yeah, this is kind of what I said was going to happen when they had their stretch where they was going to play the Suns, the Sixers, the Hornets, the Heat, the Spurs, the Nuggets, the Magic, the Jazz, the Pacers, which they lost to, the Pelicans, the Pacers again, which they lost to, the Suns, the Pistons, the Nuggets, the Nets, the Sixers. They had the very easy schedule, and they're winning, which is good. Does this make them contenders? I don't know. I think that I've been very consistent for like the last month or so. All that's really changed is I've moved my estimation of Houston up. OKC are in a group by themselves as the best team in the West. And then that next group, like everyone has a chance to get out the West, but they also just have like very clear flaws that can be exposed. And I think Minnesota's one of those teams, but so are the Lakers, so are the Nuggets, so are the Clippers. So like, I'm not any higher on Minnesota, but I see the avenue for them to be successful and get to the conference finals, maybe get to the finals. I think the best thing is that Rudy Gobert is having his best performances of the season to go into the playoffs. This is the best Rudy's looked all year. He's looking like a defensive player of the year caliber defender. Offensively, he's found his space. Like he's still not going to be great, but he's found his place on offense. That's good timing. And Julius Randle is fitting in about as good as you could hope for Julius Randle. I think Chris Finch has done a solid job of getting buy-in and getting a system that fits Julius Randle's play style. Main concern is just the playmaking, the decision-making of Anthony Edwards throughout a long postseason run. And they don't really have someone who I trust to play heavy minutes who can take that burden away from him, because Mike Conley, I'm just questionable about how much he can play. And I think you need to get Nikhil out there as much as possible. So those are my concerns. But I do think they're a team that can go far in the playoffs. But I thought that a month ago when we spoke about them the last time.
When you said tiers, you said you got OKC and then you got another group below that.
Yeah, OKC is go ahead.
Well, no, are the Wolves in that next group?
Yeah, they're in tier 2 in the West.
Are they?
Yeah, for me.
Yeah, there's like 5 teams in there.
Yeah, tier 2 in the West is like every team that's not Memphis. Like, I don't know. Every team that's not Memphis is like tier 2 to me. And then there's probably rankings within that tier 2. Like,
yeah.
If I had to guess, I would probably say I think the Warriors might be the best team of the rest of the West. Then like you got the Lakers, I don't know. I'm not even gonna say the Warriors. I don't know. OKC, and then everyone else, and then Memphis, and then the Kings and the Mavs, and whatever the case. That's really how I. So
Memphis got a floor all to themselves. A whole tier all to themselves.
Nah, they were the Kings in Dallas. They in that group.
They were the Kings in Dallas.
Memphis suck.
Mars, that's nasty.
Memphis suck. I'm sorry.
No, I think what happened to the Duke Blue Devils has made me rethink my entire stance on what's going to happen in the West.
Damn.
How so?
So because Duke blew a lead, so now you're questioning the West?
No, I think a lot of people have questions about OKC's inexperience, their age, the fact that they haven't gone far enough. We're all getting very, very excited about this net rating, this generational net rating. You know what? Duke blew everybody out for half a year, okay? And everyone was saying they don't have the experience. They're really young. When it gets tight, you can get tight, right? When the game gets tight, you might get tight. So watching what's happened to the OKC Thunder in certain moments this year, okay? We're talking the in-season tournament. We're also talking the last couple of games, and I'm not trying to be prisoner of the moment. I came up here and said they were going to clap everybody and walk to the finals. I feel like they might be one playoff scar away, which opens the door for a team that does have the requisite ingredients to go all the way. What are these ingredients? A top 10 offense, they have it. A top 10 defense, they have it. A superstar, they have it. a secondary star that you may not rate as a secondary star, but a lot of people think is a secondary star in Julius Randle. They have it. They have some depth.
You think Julius Randle's their second best player?
I didn't say he's their second best player. I said he's their second star. A guy that you can funnel your offense. Well, I mean, Draymond could be your second best player. He's not like he, you know what I mean? Like your
second offensive piece is like, is that what you're saying? Like secondary,
a secondary creator, someone who can do the 3-level scoring stuff, right?
Okay.
So if Julius Randle's jump shot holds up, like I could see him being the second best offensive player on a title contender. It's hard to see. Anthony Edwards might be first team All-NBA.
Someone has to be. Yeah, someone has to be.
Yeah, probably should be. I mean, there aren't a lot of like. Do you realize he's shooting almost 40% from 3 on over 10 attempts?
Yes.
How many players in the league doing that right now? Him and Steph. It's a group of 2. Okay.
What's Peyton Pritchard shooting?
Come on now.
That's a genuine question.
I think he's like 39 on 9 attempts.
41% on 8. I was close, like per 100 possessions. He there, like close. Malik Beasley, what's Malik Beasley shooting? Malik Beasley, he's at 41% on 9.3. Like, we're getting there. We're close. Anthony Edwards is like 39%. So, but anyway, carry on. I'll do.
We would be having an even different, an even more different conversation if the Warriors hadn't ran off 13 out of 14. If the Clippers hadn't ran off 9 straight, because I think that Minnesota would actually be a top 3 seed because of the way that they were rolling. I mean, they won 14 in their last 7 games, including the last 5 straight. And 4 of those last 5 games, I think they've held teams to under 105. Yeah, the schedule has been favorable, but you still got to beat who's in front of you. And that's what they've been doing right now. And I know how you feel, Mars, about Julius Randle, because it's really difficult sometimes to defend him 100%. When I watch him on defense, when I watch him lose assignments, when I watch him not run back on defense, when I watch him take bad shots, it's difficult. It's really difficult to defend him sometimes. However, when he is rolling and when they're rolling, they play really good off of him. DiVincenzo is a really good spot-up shooter. Not only is he a spot-up shooter, Anthony Edwards in transition, when Julius Randle is rebounding and getting the ball out to him in transition and speeding up the game, they're even better. It's just that when he has his lapses, it just looks really bad. And it makes them look really bad. So, yeah, this Minnesota, I had them in the finals before the season started, and I had to come off that. Yes, I did. I 100% had to come off that. But I think they're going to cause some trouble in the playoffs. 100% I believe they're going to cause some trouble in the playoffs. And I feel like Julius Randle is in a space where he doesn't have to do what he did with the Knicks. So I'm not worrying about him being terrible in the playoffs because I don't think that there's that much responsibility on him like it was with the Knicks. I think that there's more responsibility on this group as a whole. So I think they're going to cause some trouble in the playoffs this year.
It's going to be interesting to see how people guard Anthony Edwards pick and roll with his pull-up 3-point shooting ability now. I think it's going to be really valuable if he can make those reads, whether it's to the corner or to Rudy Gobert in the roll, because sometimes he'll neglect Rudy Gobert in the roll. I think he's gotten better as a playmaker over the season and how it's gone along. But
JD, stay right there, JD. You said neglect Rudy in the roll. Is it neglect or he's just not there yet where he can't make that read?
Neglect.
Yeah, sometimes
we're at a point where it's been 8 years where apparently every guard who plays with Rudy Gobert just can't make the read.
What is the problem? He's wide open.
Donovan Mitchell has no problem finding Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen on the roll. But when it was Rudy Gobert, all of a sudden he couldn't make the read.
Why can't you hit him? What's the problem? He's wide open. But I'm sorry, JD. Keep going.
I think you know.
Yeah, I think that's really valuable because you know how I've said about Ant that sometimes his playmaking can lead to a lot of questionable shots, especially down the stretch, and those could lose games for you. So I think he has to make those reads early to give the defense like some type of showing that I'm going to make those passes all game. So you have to keep that in the back of your head. But him being a pull-up shooter, that's going to be something that's extremely dangerous because if they were to see the Clippers, even though I don't think they would, unless it was like a 7-8 matchup, it's going to be really tough for Ivica Zubac to play up at the level against Ant if he's shooting that way. I also think the Lakers could have a lot of trouble playing in that pick and roll, but I think that's very valuable for what they're going to try and do in the playoffs.
Teams tend to blitz Ant these days. That's like the go-to because you can't play drop. You can't hedge because you can get around it. So you tend to blitz him. And the counter that the Timberwolves have gone to is they don't screen with Rudy. They'll have Jaden McDaniels or they'll have Randall screen. And Ant's more comfortable giving them the ball in the row. And then you have Rudy in the dunker spot. You play that 4-on-3. So like that's the counter they've gone to. But Ant is a lot more comfortable making decisions. I think you've seen the growth throughout the season. He started the season. It was really, I'm just shooting everything out this pick and roll. But I do think he's become more comfortable. There was a game he played against Houston where he wasn't very comfortable. He was just chucking everything. That wasn't great. But I think we've seen growth since that point where he is a lot more comfortable making those reads. Even in like his responses to questions. Early on in the season, it was him talking about he doesn't like being double teamed. He wants to be able to just score, blah, blah, blah. And then as the season's gone on, he spoke about how he's working on diagnosing these coverages, blah, blah, blah. Because I think he's realized that if he can dissect the blitzes and the traps and the double teams, teams are going to stop blitzing and trapping and double teaming him.
Yeah.
Because you can't just keep giving up 4-on-3s and 2-on-1s, etc. So teams blitzing because they think he's not going to make the reads. If he makes the reads enough, they're probably going to stop blitzing him and then he can score. So he's just going to be able to navigate that. And I think he's doing a better job of it. Can he do it against the best defenses consistently throughout a postseason run? I'm yet to see. We're hoping, but he's getting better at it for sure.
Yo, he's on a Shaq arc right now.
I also think it's
Rudy Gobert averaging 21 and 16 over the last month. I'm gonna say the last month just because we've only had 3 games this month in April. So Rudy Gobert in April is 21 and 16.
The last month you meant a week?
Yes.
Okay, nice.
That's all that matters.
Dub stat manipulation.
I'm a prisoner of the moment. Rudy Gobert has been basically Will Chamberlain over the last 3 games. So I'm just stand on that. I'm gonna say they have the best big in the league.
2020 game, almost had a 2020.
I mean, he's been really good.
And I said to you guys, is it ridiculous for me to think that Ant Edwards could come back next year, averaging like 7 or 8 assists? And we talked about the shooting variance where a guy comes in the next season and he's been knocking down shots the year before that. Can he continue that? Well, I immediately think about Ant Edwards because he's talking about watching film, and I seen what he did with shooting the basketball. I think he could be a better distributor next season and make them even better. One of the things that I don't like about him, like when he does get blitzed, and Luka's really good at this, when he gets blitzed and he gets off the ball, he doesn't come right back and get it and keep the defense off balance. He'll get blitzed and he'll just get off the ball, and Julius Randle will get it or Jaden McDaniels will get it, and then they'll be stagnant. When Luka gets the ball, when he gets blitzed and comes right back and get it, Luka gets downhill because the defense is already shifted. So now that puts the defense in a bind, right? I think that that's a thing of maturity from Anthony Edwards that he's going to have to learn. Now, yes, I've been trying to defend Rudy because every time I see him dive into the basket and he's wide open and Anthony Edwards can't hit him, he does hit him sometimes. Yes, he does hit him sometimes, but I would like to see it a little bit more. And over the last couple of weeks, they have been doing that. Been on the offensive glass. They have been hitting him. He's been really good around the basket. So it's been working. It 100% has been working.
Well, one of the things I like to do is I like to look at your numbers and wins and losses. It's not always indicative, but I like to see if a player is consistently better in his team's wins. Rudy Gobert is a lot better in his team's wins. If you look at his splits, like in wins, he's averaging nearly 13 points per game on 7.5 attempts. Right. In losses, that number goes down to less than 10 points per game on less than 6 attempts.
Well, he's getting like 6 shots. Are you kidding me?
Good. I'd give him less.
But keep going, Penn.
Yeah,
as you were saying.
No, I'm just saying having him involved in some way makes him less of a liability. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
It makes any sense. Jordan, what is up with this background, man? I can't look at this for 2 seconds without, like, why are you in court? What's going on? Are you passing a bill? What's up?
It matches your background, Penn.
My background's a library. His background's a courtroom. What's up?
Can't hear you, Jordan.
You can't hear him, so he probably yapping.
It could be 2 things. I could be in not Ox court, or I could be getting ready for my debate. It's up to y'all. It's up to the viewers' discretion.
Oh, you could be in not Ox court, or you could be ready to take Mars to court.
Hey, that's whatever you want to be, brother.
You trying to get called up to not Ox court?
Nah. It's okay. I just heard a little. I heard somebody said that people was. We
need the content, man. Ox and Jordan on the stream rewatching that debate. really get to the bottom of if Ox was robbed. I mean, I'm here for it. I'll watch.
I don't think he was robbed, but
Yeah, so that's why we need to get to the bottom of it and watch it live. On
Why we need to get to the bottom of it? It's me and you. Mano on Thursday. It's all said and done.
Maybe it shouldn't have been me versus you. Who knows?
I don't care what it shouldn't have been. It is what it is already.
Sound like it is what it is.
Maybe I don't like what it is.
Just like Minnesota is a half a game out the 4 spot. Literally.
Yeah, chill to your whole thing about Ant passing out a double. I just want to say the shot that he took at the end of the game over 2 people was kind of ridiculous, but it's a Edwards thing. I told y'all I think it was in the summertime before. Bro, he don't want to pass. I told y'all that, and y'all was like, that's stupid, that's crazy, that's not it. He can't pass. No, he just don't want to. I've told y'all that.
I don't think he sees it.
You keep saying that, Jordan, that he doesn't want to pass. I don't think that if you don't want to do something.
He said it.
Okay, no, he didn't.
Yes, he did. He said that ain't what they got me out here for.
He said that's what I don't do that. The reason why you don't do something is because you don't know how to do it. When you're good at something, you want to do it, especially if it's enhancing the unit. And if Anthony Edwards was a good passer, he would be more apt to pass the ball. But he's not good at it. That's why he doesn't want to do it.
I'm with Jordan, chill. I don't think he wants to pass. I mean, just look at the crew that he's passing to. And this is with all due respect. I understand you guys are all NBA players.
We're not going to win. I'm telling you that right now. We're not going to win.
Probably not. And he know that. But I'm saying chill. I got
not.
Rudy Gobert. I got Julius Randle, who for all intents and purposes, if we're talking about all-stars, he's probably the least pleasurable guy to pass to out of guys in that group. I got
Julius been hooping, first of all.
I got Mike Conley. Yeah, but relative to what? I got Mike Conley, who is the oldest player.
What are we doing? Why are we talking about these dudes like they can't play? Like I'm running around with a bunch of bums. What are you doing, Ron?
Here's what I'm saying. Chill.
I got a 19 and 10, almost a 20 and 10 guy that I'm running with in Julius Randle, who's a damn good passer. That's number one. Number two, I got a guy that's finishing around the rim with some of the best in the league. And Rudy Gobert. I know how you feel about that, Mars, but yes, he's got some of the best field goal percentage in the league. On top of that, Jaden McDaniels has been actually he's been better as a long ball shooter and stretching the defense. I got guys who can score. Nas Reed is one of the better long ball shooters, one of the better pick and pop guys in the league, especially as a transition 3-point shooter. So I got guys who can score. So I got guys who I can pass to. Yes, Ron, Anthony Edwards is their best option as a bucket getter. That part I'm not going to argue. But when I got 2 and 3 guys on me, I got to get off the pill. I have to get off the pill. I just
want to get into the psyche of things. Right quick, John D. I want to get into the psyche of things. I'm Anthony Edwards. I average, 27, 28?
Mm-hmm. You know that number's going up in the playoffs, right? You know that, right? I know that. You know that. Literally everybody here knows that. He is a playoff riser.
And I'm supposed to be the face of the league. Why am I what makes you think that me being Ant, I'm one of the biggest young upcoming players? What makes you think that I want to pass to Rudy Gobert and Julius Randle?
I think you guys are underselling how much he passes. But sorry, John D.
It's not about how much he passes; it's how well he passes. Mars, he passes a lot by function of the fact that he has the ball a lot. I mean, I watched Anthony Edwards really closely because I knew this was going to be a subject today, and I was just like observing the tape. I couldn't find like one pass that was truly magnificent.
You don't have to make magnificent passes, though.
He's just gonna make the right.
I'm not talking like behind the back and stuff. I'm saying like one pass which wasn't directly right in front of him.
Yeah, but he doesn't. He's not gonna have Luka Doncic feel for the game. He's not like. No,
yeah.
You said that last week. That there's a level of passing that he's not gonna be able to reach because he just doesn't see the game that way. Like that's natural gifts. He doesn't have that. If he can just make the reads that are there consistently, that's all they need from him.
Otherwise, you're going to pass than Julius Randle. I just want to. I want to open. Okay, cool. No. Okay, so relative to his teammates, where does he rank as a passer on his own team?
He's the third best passer on the team.
He ain't better than Mike Conley. He ain't better than
Julius Randle. He's the third
and that's where the list cuts off.
Yeah, he's the third.
That's where the list cuts off. But
that's also why he don't want to pass. But go ahead, John D.
I wanted to say that I think scoring and playmaking is on the same string. Like we've talked about this, or I've talked about this before, where if you can play make or if you can pass at a respectable level, it's going to open up your scoring. If he's going to consistently make the right read out of blitzes, they're not going to blitz him anymore, and he's going to have more one-on-one coverages, and he's going to be able to score more. So I always say, if you can make the right pass, you're going to be able to get better looks. And the fact that Ant sometimes does not make the right pass, teams are more comfortable blitzing him. The second he passes half
Hang
court,
on, John D.
makes shots
Hang
tougher
on.
for him.
Hang on, John D. You know, when you just said that they won't blitz him more, I think that's where y'all got it kind of mixed up a little bit. Number one, it's two reasons why he don't want to pass. I'm not saying he don't want to pass because he just want to be silly. It's two reasons why he don't want to pass. Because if he keeps passing out of those doubles instead of trying to be aggressive on them, it'll take him out the game, and that's the team's game plan. The teams want him to pass. Like, they want to get the ball out of his hand as much as possible. The more they make him do that, the later on in the game, he won't be in rhythm. So that's part of the reason why he don't want to do it, because he understands what they're trying to do to him. So when
But that
you
goes
see
back
him
to
be
Chill's
aggressive,
point though about coming back to the ball off the blitz.
Yeah.
This is where the development comes in.
right?
If he passes out the blitz and then he's just standing idly at the wing, then yeah, you've taken him out the game.
And
But
that's
if
you doing that.
if he passes out the blitz, he has two on him, and then he turns that into a DHO downhill where now he's
but it's so hard. I agree with that though, Mars. And sometimes he does. Sometimes he doesn't stand all the time. Sometimes he tries to go get it back, but they be so muffled up when they get the ball. Whoever he passes to, maybe like y'all said, there's three good passers on the team. It's Julius Randle, it's Conley, and it's him. So if he passed the ball to Jaden Daniels, he can't do no. As easy as y'all think it is, a DHO for Jaden, that ain't no good read for him.
But I can also dive to the basket too. I don't have to just go back and get the basketball. That's not the problem.
The pass to the basket is gonna be tough too.
Why? I got two guys.
But that
on
comes
me.
down to a roster clause. That's not on Anthem.
But that's exactly what I'm saying, Mars. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Control. Like what Ant can do is do the right thing. If his teammates can't make that read, then we can't hold that against Ant. We can't hold that against Ant.
No, it's not about us holding against Ant, because our opinion respectfully don't matter to him. But it's about the Minnesota Timberwolves' success. It's like he understands for them to be good. So like he's going to have to make extraordinary plays sometimes, and it's going to look selfish too. And I think it's like, I don't want to compare it to Kobe, because Kobe kind of had the same mindset a little bit too. But Kobe would pass it if needed be. But when he got competent teammates that could do a lot of stuff with it, not calling the Minnesota Timberwolves incompetent, but they don't have a Paul Gasol, they don't have an Andrew Bynum, they don't have. I mean, Derek Fisher could be Mike Conley, but Derek Fisher is super under. They don't have all those guys like. Even Vucevic, they don't have all of them guys. Sasha Vujic is not Vucevic, but though you got to have like that roster. Like Mar said, that's come down to roster construction. But in order for them to win now, that Ant feels like, I'm not saying this is right or wrong, but Ant feels like his best chance is him doing it, which I understand it. I get it, and that's why he said what he said. But I get it. I just giving y'all a rundown why.
I can appreciate that logic, but I think that he's got competent enough teammates around him, and him as a basketball player doing the stuff that's necessary in order for them to be successful. Like, for example, you talked about when he's in the double, he'll get the ball to Jaden McDaniels, or he'll get the ball to Naz Reid. Well, if he dives to the basket, if Naz Reid can't make that read to see him open in the mid post where he can just get to the rim, that's a Naz Reid issue. But I think
that's a Minnesota Timberwolves issue.
But I also think that Naz Reid is good enough where he can make, that's a simple read. Bam, bounce past the Ant right in the middle, where he's double teamed at the hash mark, and instead of just standing and watching, he dives right to the mid post. Naz Reid gets in the ball. Now he's got Rudy in the dunker spot, and he got two choices. He can throw the ball to the rim to Rudy or get to the rim. One of those two things can happen. I feel like that's the growth of Anthony Edwards. On top of that, when he's got Jaden McDaniels on the wing. Well, if Jaden McDaniels is on the wing after he gets doubled, Jaden McDaniels has proven that he can knock down an open shot. Now that opens up even more offense for Anthony Edwards.
Chill, how many shots though?
Enough to be respectable. That's it. I'm not saying.
I'm saying, how many shots will he make in order for them to respect that? He had to make 6 threes before a team respect that.
No, I don't think that you have to make 6 threes. No, I think that's asking a lot. But I do think that teams will. There are teams that will say, okay, we'll live with you shooting, but they'll also say, okay, I'm going to put a hand up. Maybe even if it's a soft closeout, I'm going to put a hand up. That leaves Anthony Edwards space, if he's not just standing around, to operate, because somebody is closing, even if it's soft. So if that's the case, now I'm opening up even more offense when I got Jaden McDaniels knocking down open shots.
Let's go from a coach's point, Chill. Let's go from a coach's point. Why do you think they want Anthony Edwards to pass it? Because they don't believe that everybody else can do those simple things that you saying that they can do. They're willing to take their chances.
Wait, so
It's because he's not good at it. Look,
no, it's because it takes the ball out the best player's hands.
I'm confused. So are we saying Ant needs to pass more or he needs to pass less?
Nah, I'm saying I'm saying it's not about more or less for me. I'm saying that's the reason why he doesn't want to pass, because he understands what the other team is trying to make them do. And their best bet when Anthony Edwards is passing out, like he said, they don't like he not out there to just be passing, chilling back. He like that's not his game. And he understands that like later on in the game, he won't have a rhythm. So he does try to be aggressive from the start because he understands that's what teams trying to make him do. They're trying to turn him into a pass it like James Harden. Like James Harden can dominate a game without shooting very many shots. Anthony Edwards cannot do that, and he understands that. That's what I'm saying.
That first of all, he's 23 years old, so there's at least some hope that he can grow right into this. I think teams blitz him because he's not the greatest decision maker when he gets sped up. Now, if you let him play at his own rhythm, he's going to hang 40 on your head because he's an elite 3-level scorer. He could do whatever he wants, and he's an athletic dynamo, and he might be the 3rd or 4th most athletic player in the league. You know, thank you, Asar Thompson and Amen Thompson for that. So I wanted to push back on one thing. Just how good a passer he is, I think, is being a little bit overstated here. Y'all said that he was the 3rd best passer on the Minnesota Timberwolves.
The one who plays, if you want to say Joe Ingles or Bones Highland or something, I guess, but like in the
I'm gonna say 4 players actually.
Walker.
I'm gonna say Bones Highland.
Okay, he doesn't play, but okay.
Okay,
probably
cool.
won't play in the playoffs.
I'm gonna say 100% Rob Dillingham.
Okay, that's fine.
Probably
that's what I was thinking, but
probably won't play in the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm
gonna say Joe Ingles.
Yes,
probably won't play in the playoffs.
Definitely doesn't play.
And the 4th one that I would say is this one's very, very fringy because they're very similar level of passers, but Terrence Shannon.
Definitely not a better passer than Anthony Edwards.
Not gonna play
sure?
either. So,
even if I agreed with all of those names, none of them are in the playoff rotation.
Cool.
So of the guys who are actually going to be on the court while the Timberwolves are trying to make a postseason run, and is the 3rd best passer.
Sure.
I think the question here is, have you ever seen a player of his? And the reason I said all those names is to illustrate just how low I am on him as a passer.
I like
right. No, Joe, those are all really good passers. I'm just saying, like, if you're thinking about all the guards, wings, whatever that have gone to the promised land, as we're talking Michael, Kobe, D Wade, whatever, any player at that level who's gone of his archetype, can you think of a worse passer than him that's won a championship? And so help me God, you say
Jaylen Brown is definitely up there, but Jaylen Brown has like.
But Jaylen Brown was not his team's best player, respectfully.
Fair enough.
And Ant's asked to do a little bit more. I really contradict myself when it comes to Ant and the whole passing thing and just his role on the team. Like, I'd be like, Ant, I want you to pass more and I want you to make better reads. But then I also understand the situation. So I don't get mad at him for shooting those shots. But I acknowledge that those are stupid shots. Like, Ant, that's a dumbass shot. So he's in a weird situation. And this is how young players grow. He has to grow in his decision making. He has to grow on what actually is a good shot, what's a winning play, all of that. So he's in a weird situation, and he actually does have a good team. He just doesn't necessarily have the best teammates around him, if that makes sense.
I mean, they're good for what they do. They're good for what they do.
He's got good enough teammates around him.
They're good for their role. I just think I'm not expecting Anthony Edwards to just come into next season firing skip passes, So I would like. If he gets blitzed and he can find the pocket, or he drives and collapses and can hit the corner, that's good enough. And if he drives and he can throw a lob to Rudy, that will be next level reads for me. Like, that's all I need from a guy like Anthony Edwards, because what he has, his superpower is he shoots that well, but he's so athletically gifted that you have to play up because he shoots so well, but you also have to play off because he's so quick he can get by you. So you get stuck in this like limbo of how do you guard him. So all he needs is a slight advantage, and then he could just make the reads out of that. He doesn't need to become this next level passer, in my opinion, just because of the physical gifts he has. If he does, then we're talking about this is a Dwayne Wade level player. Like, that's where you get if he does level up the passing. But if he doesn't, then you still got this offensive number one, if you want to call it that, centerpiece, someone who can produce elite offense in the regular season and the postseason just because of the physical tools he has.
How do you feel about him as an off-ball player?
I think he could be. I think he could be way better than he is, like way better than he is. But I think he provides value as a spot-up guy. My biggest issue with him is he doesn't run the floor hard in transition. That's my biggest issue with him.
Which
if he filled
me out.
If he filled lanes in transition the way he could, that's an extra 2, 3, 4 points a game in my opinion. But I think he's a capable off-ball player. I think sometimes he can relocate well, but there's also other times where he'll make a kick out to the corner and then he'll just hover around the baseline just because he doesn't feel like relocating. So it's up and down, depends on how he feels on that any given possession. So he's capable of a lot more, but I think he's solid in terms of the spot value and those things, but could be way better.
I also would say when y'all talk about his passing, like the whole passing out of doubles, like as much as people want to like try to make it seem like that's his biggest issue, I would probably say his passing is when he blows by somebody, that second layer is way more important than him passing out of doubles. Like when he going downhill, sometimes he predetermined what he about to do and he'll run into a lot of people or he'll turn the ball over. It's not so much how he passes out of doubles, which is why teams is double teaming because he's not very good at passing out of doubles. It's like, nah, to be honest with you, his passing where it really struggles is when he gets downhill because he makes up his mind that can't nobody guard him. And he makes up his mind that can't nobody jump with him. So when I'm more concerned about that than him passing out of doubles. Like to me, that double team passing is why he's just bored with doing that. He don't want to do that. Like they send a double pass it. Like that that's not him. That he's 23 years old. Like that's not gonna work.
And that's the separator between him and Donovan Mitchell. That's the separator
right there. No, chill. There ain't no separator. Absolutely. Donovan Mitchell, Anthony Edwards is separated from Donovan Mitchell. Like
on what level? On what level? Go ahead, Jordan.
In divorce court,
not let him off the hook.
No, hold on, Jordan. Hold that thought. We are not letting you off the hook. Hey, we are taking you right to this courtroom that you in right now.
That's
you get ready. Ox, you got your gavel? All right. Well,
I'm not a judge. I'm not a judge.
One of y'all get your gavel. We'll make
this is not Ox Court.
In the meantime, I want to talk about my picks with Prize Picks and how you guys should download this app and use promo code PANEL because, well, when you play just $5, you get 50 back instantly in promo funds. And it's so easy that I'm going to show you guys how we did it right here, right now with some of our very own picks that we talked about today. Now, this is going to be a role player contest. And we have 1 star on here, but it's for reasons that you'll see when we get there. But we got Derek White, PRA, 24.5. We going more with that today. We got B Pods. He's been on a bit of a heater for the last couple of weeks, right? April has seemed to be his month. Well, we got him scoring more than 15 points against the low Phoenix Suns. And then we got Austin Reeves, Hillbilly Mamba, 4.5 assists. Now, this fella can make cross-court reads and pass the ball. So I think that's going to be an easy lift for Austin Reeves. And then we got Desmond Bane, PRA 30.5. Against the Hornets, go ahead, Desmond. Do what you do best. Luke Kennard cracking 2 threes, the best 3-point percentage in the NBA, or something like that. I know over the last few years, he's been one of the best shooters in the league, so I expect him to crack 2 threes. That's also a demon pick as well. You can see it. And last but not least, y'all said the Ant can't pass the ball, and guess what?
He can't.
I believe you. He can't. So we going less on Ant's 4.5 assists today. Ant will not be passing the ball against the Milwaukee Bucks. He will be getting buckets against the Bucks. And that will turn $10 into $4.90. And there you go, fellas. We're going on a little shopping spree. Lunch on me. Lunch on 3.
Now I gotta get back on chill before I bring.
Please, let's do it. Please, let's do it.
Number 1, chill. It's not like I don't even let that go. Let the Donovan Mitchell, Anthony Edwards comparison go. It's clear from this year they're not in competition. Ant is in the lead, lapping him. Donovan Mitchell damn near might not be the best player on his
team. Based on what? Because I said so is not an answer. Based on what? What are we doing?
Based on my eyes and what I'm seeing. Anthony Edwards is just a better player than him.
Based on what? Okay, what are you seeing that's the separator between these two guys?
Anthony Edwards is a better player than him. He scores better than him. He shoots better than him. He finishes better than him. You might get me on maybe a pocket pass, but it's not even large enough. It's not even large enough for us to even bring that into a conversation. Anthony Edwards is just better than him pretty much all around. Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan Mitchell. You're talking about Donovan Mitchell.
Well, you
Donovan
love this
Mitchell
Donovan
is
Mitchell
a
thing.
way
Jesus.
better passer, bro. Like,
So-
No,
come on.
wait.
so-
but even if
so-
he is,
so-
he doesn't pass it enough for me to be like, that's the separator.
He is a
It
way
ain't no
better
separator.
passer, though. He
Yeah,
is
but
a
it's
way
not
better.
enough for it to be a separator.
He
Like,
reads
ain't no
the game.
separator.
It 100% is.
Chill,
enough to
they
be a
not
separator. That's what-
close.
It 100% is to be a separator. Number one, the reason why you see Max Strus as in the top 20 in the league as a shooter is because of Donovan Mitchell finding him.
Max Strus was a good shooter in Miami.
Can-
Max
can-
Strus was a
can-
good shooter in Miami.
This is the same Max Strus. This is the same Max Strus who had stretches where he went 0 for 8, 0 for 9. He was 0 for 16 in the playoffs. But with Donovan Mitchell getting downhill, getting him better shots. Same thing with Ty Jerome, getting downhill, getting him better shots. These guys, don't forget,
Ty
Ty
Jerome
Jerome was
get-
out
You're
there-
giving
Ty-
Donovan Mitchell Ty Jerome's credit? I mean, you're giving Ty Jerome
100%.
Donovan Mitchell's credit?
Why would
First
I
of
not give him
all,
credit? Why
the
would I
Max-
not
Put
give
Ty
him credit?
Jerome
Wait a minute.
Ty. Why
I'm
he gets
not
own
saying.
credit?
Whoa. I'm not saying that Ty Jerome isn't a great player. I'm not saying that Ty Jerome couldn't play, even though this is the same dude who was on his way out the league. I'd like to think that Donovan Mitchell had something to do with creating better shots for him. I'd like to think that Donovan. How would Donovan Mitchell not be responsible for creating better shots for him with the amount of attention that he draws? That's number one. Number two, he also is much better off the basketball than Anthony Edwards. Much better off the basketball than Anthony Edwards as a cutter, not just as a cutter, as a catch and shoot guy. 100% as a catch and shoot guy. What do you mean? When does he cut? He cuts during their offense. So you clearly don't. I watch Cleveland. You don't watch Cleveland.
I watch.
No, you don't. You don't watch Cleveland.
I watch
actually
Cleveland. Chill.
100%.
You bringing
And
up stuff that he doesn't do at extreme level to try to make it seem like it's close. Number one, it's not close. You might be the only person that think Donovan Mitchell and Anthony Edwards is close. It's not close. They arguing who's the better player. They arguing who's the best player on Cleveland. They're not arguing about that on the Timberwolves.
If Evan Mobley was on the Timberwolves, I'd be making the same argument.
No, you wouldn't be making that argument. No, you wouldn't.
If Evan Mobley was on the Timberwolves,
No, you would, Mars. You would make that same argument. No, you
There
would.
is nobody. Mars is the one who started that up here.
Evan Mobley's tough.
I'm not arguing that Evan Mobley's tough. You know how big of an Evan Mobley guy I am.
No,
However, Donovan Mitchell is the man on that team. I don't think that's a question.
He's the best offensive player. Yes.
Yes, Donovan Mitchell is the man on that team. In pick and dive, which Anthony Edwards doesn't do. In pick and pop, which Anthony Edwards doesn't do. In step back.
What do you mean? What do you mean he doesn't do it? Like, what are you talking about? He
doesn't do it to the level of Donovan Mitchell. There's a reason
what? But you saying pick and dive? You talking about as a passer?
Yes, as a passer. There's a reason
I
why.
think Ant's been one of the most efficient pick and roll.
Chill. For you to
I'm
make that
looking at it
segment.
right now. I'm about to.
There's a reason why.
There's
a reason why Cleveland has the best pick and dive offense in the league.
First,
Because they have two bigs.
Part of that is Donovan Mitchell. Part of it is also Evan Mobley, and it's also the
And Jared Allen.
I have
one
to
of the
get
best
him the
off-ball
basketball.
movement teams. They're also
Right, and I have to get him the basketball. 100% I do. And
Yeah,
on top
but
of that,
Donovan Mitchell
when
ain't
he's-
averaging
and-
13
and-
assists.
okay,
And
hang
he
on.
doesn't have to. He doesn't have to average 13 assists. Why does he have to average 13 assists in order for this to happen? Jordan, are you telling me that a guy who averages 27 a game is a better scorer than a guy who averages 25 a game?
Okay, this
Just
is
because he averages 27 a game? Is that what
No,
you're telling me?
but you know what?
What
Though,
are you
Chill, I'm
telling me
glad
then
you
exactly?
but Chill, I'm glad that's your point because Donovan Mitchell and Anthony Edwards' assists are much similar.
Right.
To what you trying to make that point of as if Anthony Edwards just Donovan Mitchell just a clear passer than Anthony Edwards. They're so similar that it's pointless for you to bring it up.
No, it's not. Let me tell you why. Because have we not
You
seen
just
guys
said it yourself.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Jason Tatum averages 27 a game. How much does SGA average?
32.
How much
32.
how much better of a scorer is SGA than
You
Jason
don't want to hear
Tatum?
my
Chill. If I
much
could
better
give
of a
an answer
scorer?
this
You
year,
don't
I
wanna
would probably
hear
say if I could give an answer this year, I would probably say
listen, Mars.
going
the
off of
reason
this
why-
year.
The reason why I'm bringing this up is because the point total is what? A bucket, 2 buckets? Is
2 3-pointers.
It's 2 buckets. How much of a gap
Substantial.
see this one, and that's what I mean. So when you got a guy like Anthony Edwards and Donovan Mitchell, who the scoring, not the scoring, I'm sorry, the assists aren't that far apart, there is a gap between these two guys as passers. Just because my assist total is similar to yours does not mean that you are in my class as a passer. That does not mean that.
They're not in the same class as players. That's what I'm trying to tell you. They're not in the same class as
You
players.
keep telling me that.
Hang on.
Here's what you. I'm sorry, Ben. Go ahead.
Okay. You think they're not in the same class as players?
No, they're not.
I'm assuming that's partially because you think they're not in the same class as scorers, because they're certainly in the same class as defenders. They're certainly
They're definitely not in the
No,
same
they
class
are
as
not.
defenders. They're
No,
definitely
they
not
are
in the same
not.
class as defenders.
No, they are not.
They're not close.
Can we keep this convo offensively, please?
All right.
Neither one of them are
offensively.
perfect defenders by any means.
I'd rather have Ant
Obviously.
on.
I would rather have
on
Ant
defense.
too.
Yes.
I would rather have Ant too.
You would rather have Ant on offense too.
That's a conversation I'm willing to have.
But we
defense,
can
leave
have
that
it.
out?
We can
Offense,
have it,
let's
but
leave it.
you'd rather have
guys
Ant.
want these pick and roll numbers. I got
Would
them
you-
right here.
Okay. First of all, I think when players like John Morant and John Morant and Donovan Mitchell play in a system, play under a coach where the minutes go down, right?
Yeah.
The raw minutes go down. A lot of people start panicking because they see the points go down. But that's why we have to use those per 100, per 75 numbers. Would you believe me if I told you? No, these are not hypothetical stats, Mars. You're joking, obviously. Do you know per 100 possessions, Anthony Edwards averages 37.2? Guess how many Donovan Mitchell adds?
35 probably.
36.6, chill.
36.
We're
still
separated by
better.
less than a point. We're separated by
better.
less than a point. How are you putting these players' classes apart?
and
And I just want to be clear about this.
Because they
There is not a
this is
single
where
Jordan. There is not a single offensive player on Minnesota that is anywhere close to Darius Garland. Offensively, hell no. Okay. The reason
Julius
you
Randle
you
is
keep
not
bringing up this false
Darius Garland.
equivalence, you keep saying, "Well, we're not even sure if Donovan Mitchell the best player in Cleveland." Yo, are we debating whether Cleveland is a worse team than Minnesota? What does it matter if he's not the best player on his team? It doesn't matter. They're a way better team right now.
because Ant would be the best player on Cleveland.
Yeah, respect Evan Mobley.
Cool.
No, he wouldn't.
Okay, so
Well,
quick question,
if Donovan
quick
Mitchell wasn't there and Anthony Edwards was there, okay, we got that
Quick question.
conversation 100%. So I could use the same logic if Donovan Mitchell was in Minnesota, he'd be the best player on that team too. What's your point?
Quick
He would
question.
be. He would be.
What's your point?
Do you guys,
I
when we look
mean,
at Ant
they
and
wouldn't be as
Donovan Mitchell's
good.
game, like these
Yes,
guys,
he would.
They
I'm
wouldn't
sorry,
go to the
John
conference
D.
finals.
No, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry,
I'm
John D.
gonna get to it.
The problem that I'm having with Jordan's argument is Jordan is giving me everything except facts. All you're telling me is because I said so. The eye test. Everything that you're giving me is because I said so. I'm telling you, when I watch Donovan Mitchell as a pull-up jump shooter in traffic, Donovan Mitchell on the defensive end, when he plays off the ball, how good he is in the passing lanes, how good he is at digging when guys get the ball in the post, how good he is at shooting gaps. Donovan Mitchell is not a less than defender. And on offense, how good he is at pick and roll when Evan Mobley sets screens, how tight he is at getting around those screens and creating fouls to get to the free throw line, which is a big deal.
I hate when y'all do this, bro, because y'all bring stuff up. Y'all bring stuff up like they doing it at an enormous rate. They're not doing it. They're not doing it at an enormous rate.
He's better than Anthony Edwards at that. You keep saying that.
Okay, that's cool, but I could understand if you was talking about Shea. If you was talking about Shea putting pressures on the rim. You talking about Donovan Mitchell, who's not that.
I don't have to be Michael Jordan or anything like that. I'm better than you at that, though.
Not by much for you to make it even
what
seem.
What difference does it make if I'm not better than you at about 6 or 7? I'm better than you with that.
Because this is what I'm trying to tell you. When you start talking about the little bitty stuff that he's good at, Anthony Edwards is much better than him on offense. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Number one, Donovan Mitchell.
Legit logic on why he
I would give you legit logic. Number one, I would give you legit logic. Number one, Anthony.
Y'all can make it to the PCL finals, and this can be a topic.
Oh,
right?
Absolutely, and it would be super easy. For
yeah,
me.
but they're not going to. So
okay, cool.
Let's have the debate now.
But anyways, number one.
As you were saying, Jordan.
And it was number one. Donovan Mitchell struggles. I'm gonna tell you why. He can't get to no shot in the mid range. It's either 3-pointer, or it's either 3-pointer or step back.
That's not the way to start. Anthony Edwards.
I mean, hold on.
I was gonna mention that. Like neither one of these guys have in between.
Let me finish what I'm saying. First of all, Anthony Edwards have a way better in between game than Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell struggles. Donovan Mitchell struggles when you put pressure on him. He's either gonna try to get to the rim or he's gonna try to step back because he can't get his shot off so much in the mid range. I watched a lot of tape on Donovan Mitchell.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
I do.
No, yes,
I do. His
I believe you watched the tape. But
his tendencies are glaring. His tendencies are
because if you watch tape, you would know that he's one of the better pull-up jump shooters in the mid-range.
First of all, from
better
three,
than Anthony Edwards.
First of all, from three, he's one of the better pull-up. People are one of the better pull-up jumpers from three.
At least Donovan Mitchell has the floater game, though. Like I'm with you on the mid-range. Me personally, I'm with you on the mid-range.
Yeah, he can't get his shot off in mid-range.
I still think Donovan Mitchell is better than Ant in the mid-range. I think Anthony Edwards is not a good mid-range shooter. But at least Donovan Mitchell has a floater he can go to. Anthony Edwards doesn't even have the floater yet.
He's just
Like he doesn't have anything in between.
Nothing.
Anything.
It got some game. Now making the shot is completely different from shooting the shot. He got moves, and I like how
he's got
gets to his
moves.
spot.
Yeah, but he's also far more athletic than Donovan Mitchell, so he doesn't have to use the floater. Still, why are you doing this? He's far more athletic than Donovan Mitchell. First of all, Donovan Mitchell is not even as big as him. That's number one. Anthony Edwards is way bigger and more athletic than him. He doesn't have to use a floater like Donovan Mitchell does. Donovan Mitchell struggles when you get him in between because he can't get his shot off. So that's why he does a lot of floaters. That's why you see him do a lot of step backs. I watch tape. He has the same tendencies.
6.5% from mid range.
Yeah, I didn't say that they were both great mid range. I'm saying Donovan Mitchell can't get his shot off in the mid range a lot of times.
That's just not true.
Yes, it is. That's why he shoots a lot of step backs. Chill. Why do you think he do that?
He shoots a lot of step back threes.
Yes, because he can't get his shot off from the mid range. That's why he does that.
This is why you're in court.
Numbers.
Yes,
Anthony Edwards has shot 200 mid range jumpers this season. Anyone want to guess how many Donovan Mitchell shot?
Probably 250.
But then, okay, why would you think that if you think Donovan Mitchell shoots less?
I didn't say that he shoots less. What I'm saying
he can't get a shot up in the mid range, so you would have to assume he gets less.
First of all,
Mars, I'm gonna
hold on, Chill. He asked me a question. Hold on, let me answer it because we're gonna go past it. First of all, when it comes down to it, context matters. Okay, also, context definitely matters. Yes. So when you go into double teams a lot of times, or when you go into the way they guard Anthony Edwards a lot of times, he's not privy to the way Cleveland offense plays for them to even take those shots. I'm talking about one-on-one.
Get it off. You said he can't get the shot off.
Yes, I'm saying one-on-one. You're going to see it in the playoffs. When they shrink the floor on Donovan Mitchell, you're going to see him either try to shoot a three or he's going to try to get to the basket. Because that mid-range thing, when they put body on him, he snatches back into a three-pointer almost every time. Every time. It's not like he can get to his. It's not he can snake it, get to his spot, and get to his mid-range. That's not what Donovan Mitchell does a lot. That's not what he does.
To answer your question, Mars, I'm gonna guess about 400 jump shots in the mid range.
No. See, this was genuine. Okay, so Anthony Edwards has played 4 more games than Donovan Mitchell. He's taken 200 shots, literally 200 on the dot. Donovan Mitchell has taken 197. Like they are based. They've taken the practically the same amount of shots. And Donovan Mitchell
context matters though.
Yeah,
and the context is that Donovan Mitchell takes more per game.
42.5%, and Anthony Edwards shoots 36.5%. So Donovan Mitchell's made more shots in the mid-range. And then if you start factoring in the floaters, the paint touch, all of that stuff,
he's so much
Donovan
better
Mitchell
in
is clearly better. Like
in mid-range than him.
So clearly better in that in-between.
Let's also put some context to it too, because remember, Ant has changed his game. We all know that.
You want me to go to last
year? Yeah, how many did he just
last year he took 299 shots in the mid-range, so 300. 35%. So the year before that, he took 231, 36.8%. The year before that, he took 105, 35%. His rookie year, he took 122, 26%. Anthony Edwards has never been good in the mid-range. He's not a three-level scorer.
Last season, he had about a month and a half where he was shooting like 47% in the mid-range, and then he went away from it. Completely went away from it.
That's just
and then that was it.
Never been a mid-range
to say that Donovan Mitchell, who shoots in the mid-range and plays in the mid-range, is not a good mid-range shooter.
He just said he shot 190. You just said
he's taking 3 less attempts in 4 less games. He's taking 3 less attempts.
Yes, but I'm not. First of all, if you go back and rewind the tape, I'm not arguing that they both are great mid-range shooters. I'm saying first of all, this is exactly my point. You're talking about a damn good mid-range shooter as if it's substantial. It's not.
He's still better than him.
Chill. I've been making an argument. You making small points that it's not even substantial. That's the whole argument.
6% is very substantial.
Well, not only.
Bro, it's not substantial if you're shooting 197 mid-range shots, bro. I hate when y'all do this stat stuff because it doesn't tell context either. It doesn't tell the way they guard a person. It doesn't tell the freedom of the teammates. It don't tell none of that.
Nobody here is arguing.
Mars, you didn't hit that.
I actually didn't. Yeah, I missed. Yeah.
Missed what?
I shot my water bottle into the trash. You missed it.
Look, you keep saying
it was Anthony Edwards mid-range.
You keep We're splitting when we're talking about great players. That's exactly what we're doing. We're splitting hairs here. And you're telling me that Donovan Mitchell isn't better than Anthony Edwards off the strength of him just not being better. I play in the mid-range just as much as you do. I do more in the mid-range than you do. And not just statistically. I got a better pull-up jump shot than you do in the mid-range. I got a better floater than you do in the mid-range. Whether it's splitting hairs or not, I'm still better than you with that.
The problem that I'm having is you're saying that as his production is more than Anthony Edwards, and it's not. That's the point that I'm making. You bringing up stuff that don't move the needle for his production.
He just told you. Wait a minute. He just told you. What I shoot in the mid-range is better than what you do. And I've done the same thing as you've done.
And his production is still not there.
Okay, so if the mid-range stuff requires context, why can't the raw production require context?
It can't require context.
Like the fact that Donovan Mitchell plays less minutes and the fact that he's relied on to do less offensively because he has more talent around him, that doesn't make him a worse.
Which means that if he was relied to
we saw what Donovan Mitchell did last year. Did he get worse at basketball?
That 24
I didn't say he get worse at basketball.
His touches have went down significantly.
Yeah, his touches have gone down. That doesn't mean he got
Evan
worse.
Mobley and the offense.
And no, hold on, stop right there. His touches went down more than it was last year, and their team got better.
Because Evan Mobley took a jump.
Guys,
because they realized. No, because they realized. Okay, cool, but no, because they realized the guy that y'all saying D Mitch is, he ain't that. That's why they said give that pill to Darius Garland more. D Mitch, you can't take us to the crib like you think they like y'all saying he can. He can't. That's why they doing what they doing.
You are making us all Cleveland Cavaliers
Donovan
fans,
Mitchell isn't Donovan Mitchell in the playoffs. We know the Cavs can't win. The reason the Cavs
they can't win with Donovan Mitchell doing this. Anthony Edwards got to the Western Conference doing that. But Donovan Mitchell can't. That's why.
Is because Evan Mobley has taken a jump as a ball handler, a transition player, and an outside shooter. Darius Garland is back to what he was.
If Donovan Mitchell was so good at it, why not let D Mitch cook it up then?
Because why would you compromise the quality of your team to prove that one guy's really good? That just doesn't sound logical.
Because you know why? Because we live.
Evan Mobley has improved immensely, so it makes sense to give him the opportunity to help the team in a way that is beneficial.
I don't know if he improved immensely. I think they just gave him more opportunities. He got more opportunities.
Darius Garland is back to what he was before he fractured his jaw and lost all that weight mid-season. So
they gave him more opportunities.
Darius Garland have more control of the offense because Darius Garland is that good.
No, because it don't make. Yeah,
he's saying they took the ball away from Donovan Mitchell because he's not good enough to have it.
Which is not true.
First of all, that's not what I said. What I said was they took it. I said they took it away.
Jordan, hold on right quick, because I got a way we could get down to the bottom of this whole
thing.
Please,
let's do this.
And that's on the GameTime app. I mean, we all want to watch the game, right? We all need to see who's actually better between Anthony Edwards and Donovan Mitchell. Well, there's no better place to do it than at the actual game. So download the GameTime app because, well, it will allow you to get the best seats in the house during the best games possible during the season. Now, obviously, we know the playoffs are right around the corner, and there's no better place to be than in a playoff arena watching good playoff hoops between two teams that, well, it's going to go down to the wire, and you don't know who's going to win. Well, let me break it down for you on what GameTime can do for you and how they make getting tickets so easy. 2 taps on your phone, and essentially you're in the app, and you can actually see the seats you buy before you buy them. And they don't have sneaky fees that slap you on the back of your head afterwards. So that means they have all-in pricing, so it's no surprises. Oh, and last-minute tickets, GameTime's like, don't even worry about it. We got you all the way up until the tip-off starts, and even after the game as well, or after the tip-off as well. So once again, this is the easiest place to get your tickets and to see where you're going to sit. Also, you can just take the guesswork out of everything and let GameTime do all the heavy lifting for you. So download the GameTime app right now, create an account, use promo code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Yes, terms apply, but who really cares when you use code CLNS to get $20 off? Download the app and get in the game today, right now. Also, I know the reason why these brothers can't make mid-range shots. Because they not properly fueled. That's why they can't make a goddamn midi. But we have the solution to all of this. All these guys need to do is, well, get their ready to optimize nutrition right here and right now with Factor meals. Now, Factor meals has chef-made gourmet meals that are, well, very easy to eat because they taste amazing. They are dietitian approved. They're ready to heat and eat in just 2 minutes so you can fuel right and feel right no matter what life throws at you. Donovan Mitchell. So Factor Meals, it arrives fresh and fully prepared, perfect for any active and busy lifestyle. You can lose up to 8 pounds in 8 weeks with Factor Keto Meals. With 40 options across 8 dietary preferences on the menu each week, it's easy to pick meals that are tailor-made for your goals. Ed wants to shoot better in the mid-range. He needs to get the Factor Meals MIDI plan. That'll get him right. Factors can help you feel your best all day long with wholesome smoothies, breakfasts, grab-and-go snacks, and, well, plenty more add-ons. So you can reach your goals this year with ingredients that, quite frankly, you can just trust and convenience that you really just can't beat. So eat smart with Factor Meals. Get started right now at factormeals.com/playerschoice50 off. Use code PlayersChoice50 off to get 50% off on your first box, plus free shipping. That's PlayersChoice50 off at factormeals.com/PlayersChoice50 off to get 50% off your first box. Donovan Mitchell and Anthony Edwards, get your feet off the sofa and make this happen. All right, fellas. I do want to throw this on the screen. We are talking about the Western Conference. So let's actually look at the Western Conference and how everything looks right now. Obviously, we have a 4-way tie from 5 to 8, and Denver is just a half a game ahead of them. 46 and 32 for the Clippers, Warriors, Wolves, and Grizzlies.
I think the Lakers got the 3rd seed locked up, which is something I wanted. I don't want to see Golden State in the first round. I really don't. I'd much rather see Memphis. But
hey, chill out. You know
Hey, Ron, how we get back to this? I was just finna cook chill before we shut that off. I was just finna get on the heater, then we shut it off.
Yes, it's all good. We'll get back to it.
Yeah,
But
we need to get back to that.
that's
crazy to me.
When the Cavs win the championship,
bullshit, I'm gonna be in my grave rolling the fuck over. Be in my grave rolling over.
What did Cleveland do to you?
Nothing.
He's never been a Donovan Mitchell guy. That's right.
Yeah, cause y'all, it is what it is. It is what it is.
But Western Conference, fellas, how we feeling about this right now?
So far, it doesn't look like we're getting any of the matchups I wanted. I wanted to see Nuggets, Timberwolves. Hopefully, we still get that. Clippers, Rockets.
You'll get Nuggets, Timberwolves. Don't worry, you'll get Nuggets, Timberwolves.
Clippers, Rockets would have been very interesting. I just think.
How you feel about John D? How you feel about y'all seeing the Clippers in round 1? How you feel about that?
I'm much more. I like our matchup against the Clippers a lot better than our matchup against the Warriors.
What's the issue with the Warriors?
I think the Warriors have a lot of off-ball movement, and when you have a lot of guys that can fall asleep defensively on the perimeter, and Luka, AR, Rui, LeBron, and then you don't have a guy that can clean that up, that can lead to a lot of bad defensive possessions. And I also think Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green roaming around in the half court when we're liable to have really bad turnovers throughout the game. I always talk about how the Lakers are what they're bad at. They don't help that they're bad at it, if you get what I'm saying. Like, the Lakers are a bad transition defense, but they also have really bad turnovers that can lead to transition offense for other teams. And they're liable to give up a 12-0 run on either side of the ball because they don't have somebody that can clean up their deficiencies on the perimeter, and they're always making bad turnovers to get out and transition. That's why when you see in the 3rd quarter, we could be up 15 points, and then going into the 4th, we could be down 4. So the Lakers, once again, and I think it also condenses on what Luka Doncic can be in the playoffs, because as of right now, call me crazy, I don't think Luka has shown me that I should be sending 2 to the ball immediately. Like we saw against OKC, they were sending 2 to the ball, and we were just getting open 3 after open 3 after open 3. Maybe you just don't send 2 to the ball so you can limit those open 3s for guys like Dorian Finney-Smith or Austin Reeves or Rui Hachimura or even LeBron, who sometimes can just be an incredible shot maker. So
one of the things I know for a fact, though, John D, is that Luka gets busy in the playoffs. I know that for a fact. So I'm not concerned with Luka getting busy in the playoffs. I have seen him get busy in the playoffs, and I think with the Warriors, with losing Anthony Davis, that does throw a monkey wrench in some of what you're doing. But I feel like as a team defensively with rotations, I still think that you can compete. But I think this is going to come down to with both James and Luka. how they can use those two guys in both Austin Reeves and Rui, how they can use those two guys to supplement anything else that's going wrong. If they could do that on offense and on defense, gang rebound like they've done in the past, I think you can handle the Warriors in 6 games.
Yeah, I mean, I think if Luka plays to the level that we think he can in the playoffs, I think there's a lot of teams we can beat. It's just I'm just concerned off what I've seen this season. And I think a lot of people are just ignoring it and thinking, oh, well, Luka's this guy in the playoffs and he should be able to play extremely well. Like I saw on Twitter, everybody was overreacting because Lou Williams said he'll take SGA as a scorer over Luka in the playoffs this season. I don't think that's crazy because Luka Doncic has been settling on a lot of contested pull-ups, step back 3-pointers out of isolation, out of pick and roll, and he hasn't been getting into the inside the arc as much as you would want him to. And if you're consistently taking that away and you're making him settle for a tough shot like that, it could be a really low floor in the playoffs, like 21 points on 41% true shooting. Like that's not something you would want from Luka Doncic. And if you feel like you get that out of Luka, you can have a very good chance at beating the Lakers. I think Luka has to be Luka for us to really be good in the playoffs. And what he's shown us so far this season on the shot diet that he's been on, I'm just a little hesitant to believe that the Lakers can be this really dangerous team. But if Luka's playing the way that Luka plays and we think that he can play, we know how dangerous the Lakers can be, because when you have an offensive punch of LeBron James, Austin Reeves, and Luka Doncic, it's going to be really hard to scheme against that when these guys are playing off ball. Or Austin Reeves is making plays for guys like Rui. And I also think Jackson Hayes should be on the floor every time Luka Doncic is on the floor. They have these lineups where Jackson Hayes is not touching the floor when Luka is on the floor, and I feel as though Jackson Hayes should always be on the floor when Luka's on the floor. But
if I've seen Luka Doncic, if you're going to give me that logic about Luka, then I got it. The same logic has to go for Jimmy Butler. Like we've seen, how often have we not seen Jimmy Butler get busy in the playoffs, even if he's not very good in the regular season? We've seen that. So I think the same logic would move for Luka Doncic, even though the athleticism hasn't been there over the course of this season because he was dealing with an injury and he's had some conditioning issues, but he's getting better. 100% getting better. And I feel like with a matchup like the Golden State Warriors, whether it's Gary Payton Jr. on him, whether it's Moody on him, I think that he could take advantage of mismatches. I don't think that the Warriors blitz as much with Luka. And if they're going to play one-on-one, I think that's playing right into Luka's hands, because I think Luka is one of the best one-on-one players in the game, if not the best one-on-one player in the game. And the rim protection that the Golden State Warriors have, that's why they struggled against the Lakers, because they had Anthony Davis. Well, you still don't have that, so we can still get to the rim. And a guy like Luka Doncic, as the playmaker that he is, finding guys like Austin Reeves at the long ball line, finding guys like Rui diving to the basket, I think that's a plus for the Lakers. And I think that if Luka Doncic is going to play the way he's normally played in the playoffs, I don't think that there should be a problem with you guys handling them.
Yeah.
Why do y'all think that he's gonna play like how he normally played in the playoffs? When
that's what I'm saying. Like I'm looking at
last episode, I seen Mars and Chills going back and forth about how Luka is clearly not the same player, and I don't get like why do y'all think that why y'all think like he's gonna do like Jimmy Butler? Like Jimmy Butler does that just because that's just his play style.
I think
this isn't Luka Doncic's play style.
I mean, I think it's hard to see a 26-year-old and just say, "Oh, they've fallen off." Like he's 26. I just want to make it clear. I'm not saying Luka has fallen off. He's never gonna get good again. I'm just saying the Luka I've seen this season, is worse than he's been in the past.
And I think it's because he's probably dealing with an injury. He's probably dealing with it.
Probably. I'm not saying Luka's career
is that still going on with him today? Because it doesn't seem.
It looks like how he's playing. He's not getting downhill at all. Like he's not.
He don't have no burst. His first step is off.
Yeah, he can't attack mismatches the way he used to. Like I've seen him struggle against guys that he normally does not struggle against.
He don't have no burst.
I'm not saying that Luka is just not Luka anymore. But what I'm saying is, based off of what I've seen this season, I don't have the 100% confidence that Luka's just going to walk into the playoffs and be Luka Doncic. Like we've seen Luka Doncic be able to get past players, play in the post, play in the mid-range, and feed his big men. And I just don't think Luka has been able to have that ability this season so far, because he's struggling in switches, he's struggling 1v1, and he's just leaning on a lot of contested shots. And when they're going in, it's great. But when it's not, we have a very low floor, especially with all the defensive deficiencies that we have on the perimeter that can be taken advantage of more in the playoffs. So if Luka's not going to be Luka, then we just don't have the best shot at winning. Luka has
John,
to be
you could say that about every team, but my thing with Luka is like every team star player has to play. We was just talking about Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell got to hoop in order for them to win.
It's just there's more reason to doubt Luka than there is like Donovan Mitchell.
And I get that, but this is the reason why I'm not doubting Luka at all, because for a couple reasons. First off, it's Luka. Second off, just because he's not playing like 2022, 23, 24. He just gave OKC 30 the other day and an L.
It was amazing.
Also, shot the ball well though.
Also, last year in the playoffs, we can kind of all agree Luka didn't look like Luka in the past playoffs. But
but they had an elite defense. They had
a great defense,
and that's
why they would beat the 2011 Mavs. But
there you go.
That's cool, but like the Lakers still got a squad. So my thing is like Luka don't necessarily have to be the prior Lukas, but we know Luka gonna get to it. He might be slow some games, he might be off some games, but we all know Luka's gonna Luka in some way, shape, or form.
Hey man, I'm not telling you that I ain't rooting for it. If Luka Doncic has a run, you know how I get.
If Luka goes into the playoffs and he's getting by people again and he's getting wherever,
then he went to Germany right before the start.
I'm not about to be here like, damn it, man. Why is Luka good? Like the league's better when the best players in the league are playing great. Like I'm never gonna complain.
Especially when they're wearing purple.
I'm reading comments yesterday. People think I hate Luka now. Like, no, I'm just saying what I'm seeing. Like, I'm sorry that I'm not seeing Luka look like the Luka that was arguably the MVP last year. Looked amazing throughout the regular season. Like, I'm not seeing that Luka right now. So I'm saying, based on what I'm seeing, I don't have maximum optimism that he's just going to flip a switch. I don't think it works like that. Like for me, anytime someone has lower body injuries and then their burst looks substantially worse, to me, they're directly correlated. Luka Doncic is dealing with lower body injuries. Luka Doncic is struggling to create separation and get downhill and beat guys off the bounce. To me, that's not coincidental. Like, that's directly a correlation. So, like, I'm just saying what I'm seeing, I think, is because he's been dealing with the lower body injury throughout the season. And I'm not saying Luka's hurt right now. I think Luka's probably healthy. I think when you deal with lower body injuries, even when you're able and fit to play, you don't feel like yourself instantaneously. I don't think it works that way. Like James Harden, I use James Harden as an example. When he hurt his hamstring in 2021 in the postseason,
he was bad.
He came back. He came back in 2022. He was healthy. But his burst was gone
for like 2
But
straight
now
years.
you watch James
Harden.
Harden. Now you watch James Harden. He's still not prime James Harden, but the burst is back. Like he can get by people again. Like lower body injuries, like even if you're able to play, you don't move the same right away. So Luka, like it might take some time, and it might even take an off season to just get back into shape, get back into rhythm, all of that. And then Luka next season, Luka Doncic is back, top 3 player in the world. Like maybe, I don't know. I'm just saying right now, I just don't see that player right now.
I just think also
he's going
also
the
I
wrong
think
way.
against Golden State, John D. It would, to me, I think it would be a bad idea if Luka did, because the Golden State has so many defenders that they can throw at Luka. It to me just wouldn't be a good idea for him to just be attacking him one-on-one, even though that's what he does. I won't be so confident in it because the amount of defenders that they can throw at him and the amount of shots that like Luka can't get by him.
What's the contingency plan? What are we doing instead then? If he's matched
they have to do it. I mean, they have to do it.
Well, coach got a coach. Like that's what. It's like if they're gonna switch everything, you can't just devolve into isolation ball. Like that's what you got to run.
I'm starting to trust JJ Redick. Yeah. I'm starting to trust JJ Redick. In these big games, he's really developed schemes. Like against OKC, I think we did a really good job in making drives hard for SGA. Like I'm talking
about on offense.
Offensively, I'm still not the biggest fan of JJ Redick, especially against teams that switch a lot. And Golden State tend to switch when Luka's playing, and I think Golden State just plays small better than you guys play small. That's my big.
I was gonna get into that.
Like they're just better at being small than you guys.
Yeah, and we're probably gonna have to go small to get DFS and Vando in the lineup, and that plays right into their hands. So how much is
that's my concern? But
Jackson Hayes, how much is he gonna play? So
I like to do a vibe.
You guys are just tripping me out. Down Luka. Like that is.
I'm not doubting Luka. I'm saying what I'm seeing. I get what you're saying. Like it makes sense. Like it's a similar thing with Giannis. Like we haven't seen Giannis in the postseason healthy in a long time. So if I go in and like, do we know what Giannis is gonna do? Like it's Giannis. It makes it just believe in Giannis. But I'm looking at it as Luka Doncic. Like I don't know who Luka Doncic is. I'm just looking at this player. Do I have faith that this player who I'm watching can flip a switch in the postseason and dominate a series scoring? Yeah, maybe with shot making, but not with a shot diet that I think is sustainable. not right now.
No pull up.
But I think it's
I
possible.
understand that. I understand that with Luka in the terms of pull up threes, because that's not really his game, on the regular. But
not to a 40-degree clip.
No, not to that kind of clip, Penn. No, we're not doing that. Like he's shooting 40 plus on pull up threes on the regular. No, he's not doing that.
He's not a great shooter, first of all.
He's not.
And what I'm saying is that, like, if you look at the percentage of his shots that come around the rim, it's been a steady decline since he's been 20. Like we've been seeing it go down and down and down, and this year might be the worst yet. And what's replacing those shots is a high degree of more difficult mid-range shots and longer threes. So 10 to 16 feet. And if you're thinking, well, that's not a problem, 10 to 16 feet, 16 to 22 feet, he's probably great in those areas. He's actually not that great. He's actually not that great. He hasn't been this year.
Yeah.
So, like, we've seen this with Chet coming back from injury. He hasn't looked the same. We saw with Paolo coming back from injury. Hasn't looked the same. Sometimes there's just a ramp up to that point where maybe you're not fine, and then you look up, and then 2 days later you are fine. So I'm gonna trust that the guy that put up 73 points last year is still capable, is not washed.
Yes,
we're not saying he washed. We just saying he hurt.
Capable. Just this season might not be the season.
So what I'm saying is I don't know where that switch is gonna come though. I don't know when it can come. I don't know if it will come. If it'll come this year. What I do want to say is that we often talk about the Western Conference, and we talk about OKC. We talk about Houston because Mars is here. We talk about Memphis because people like to beat up on Memphis. We talk about the Lakers because they're the Lakers, and I guess we like to talk about Bronny James. One team that I don't think we give enough consideration to in this conversation is the Clippers. And the reason that I say that is because I like to do a vibe test, because I've looked at the history of NBA champions, and I got to tell you, they all have a few things in common. We've talked about the top 10 defense, top 10 offense, superstar, role players that are locked in. This Clipper team has every ingredient to make an NBA champion. They have role players that play their role. I am not surprised.
Keep going, Penn. Keep going, Penn.
They have a defensive anchor in Ivica Zubac, who's incredible. They have role players who really buy into their roles, right? Sorry. They have a superstar or a superstar adjacent player in Kawhi Leonard who can do that. They have a secondary star in James Harden. I don't see what this team does not have to push teams like OKC that are considerably less experienced, teams like Houston, Memphis. Again, when I'm looking around the Western Conference, of course, I'm picking OKC to come out because I'm not an idiot. But if they're vulnerable, there's no team, in my opinion, that is more primed to make a crazy run and exploit that than the Clippers.
I think the only thing I'm holding back from the Clippers is when I look at championship level teams, I look at the lineup versatility, and I would love for a championship contender to always have a starting caliber center on the floor. When we look at teams like the Cavs, who can have Evan Mobley or Jared Allen on the floor at all times, the Thunder with Chet and Isaiah Hartenstein, the Celtics with Horford and KP, even the Mavs last year with Gafford and Lively. That's something I feel as though is very important. Zubac is probably going to have to play like 40, 41 minutes in that series, because I don't know how much you're going to trust Ben Simmons as your small ball five. And I just don't necessarily know how flexible they are within their lineups to throw schemes at or throw counters to schemes that are going to be thrown at them. So that's the only thing that holds me back from the Clippers. But other than that, I mean, I think Kawhi has the ability to be the best player in a lot of series he goes into. Just he has a playoff proof type of game where he has the strength, the ball handling, and the shooting ability in the mid range to where he's going to be able to get to his shot, and he can play with his back to the basket. He has a jump hook that I also like from his game. So he could be efficient. He could be efficient in the mid range, and he could play off of James Harden. So I like the Clippers. That's just the only thing that's holding me back with their.
Stop right there, though, John D. About the Clippers. I love James Harden. I really do. I'm a huge fan of James Harden. I love James Harden as the passer he is. But what I'm going to tell y'all is this is why they're not going to be a championship team, because you don't know what superstar you're going to get out of James Harden. Like, you don't know, like, is he going to be the passer? Is he going to be the
I think James Harden might have to score about 28 a game in the playoffs, 30 a game in the playoffs for them to do that. I don't know if he can do it though.
35.
I don't think he's. I don't think
give me 21 and 10. We cool.
Yeah, I don't
21 and 10 will not be enough in the playoffs. 21 and 10 will not be enough in the playoffs.
Why does James Harden have
because
to
Kawhi is
be-
not Embiid.
Huh?
Because Kawhi is not Embiid. I'm talking about
Kawhi
Embiid,
can be Embiid in the
dominant.
playoffs. He can be Embiid in the playoffs.
I mean, that's fine.
we-
You can see that.
he had
a
31
lot of
tonight.
stuff on the panel. My favorite take of the year, and Mars, get ready for this. It's going to be some insane glaze. Okay, my favorite take of the year, or
the
at least
Kawhi
at
plan?
least a top 10 take of the year, is Mars's interpretation of what the Clippers are doing with Kawhi Leonard, ramping him up, understanding the history over the last 5 years. This guy can't play a full season, so we're going to change what the full season actually looks like, and it's actually going to clockwork.
That's exactly what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing.
Don't
Number one,
mean
not
that
only
they're
is
gonna
it what
win
they're
because they
doing,
do that. Like,
and I don't know how the hell I brought up what
Not why he. That's not why he brought that up, though. I'm sorry. Keep going, Penn. I apologize.
No, it's okay. Like I don't know how the hell I even talked about the Clippers without even bringing up Norman Powell, and how
Ox did the same thing.
Yeah, you're not the first
Yeah,
one.
Ox did the same
Don't even
thing.
worry about it, Penn.
But unlike right now, Penn, I didn't need to.
Yeah, well, maybe you did.
Mhm.
Go ahead, Penn. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Again, there's just so much experience on this team, and the most important part about it, and I know that this may get me cooked by the chat, but that's okay, is they really genuinely seem to play for each other.
Oh,
I'm sorry, Jordan. I know that was.
Why is that ridiculous?
Yeah, no,
You talking about teamwork?
Yeah, why is that ridiculous,
no,
Jordan?
it's because
Why?
They cover for each other.
Ain't that what they do in Oklahoma City?
So minute,
Yo,
bro. Like,
here's the thing.
everybody does it,
hang on,
bro.
Jordan.
No, everybody doesn't do it. No, everybody doesn't do it. No,
They're not in the playoffs then, chill.
That's the point. So everybody else doesn't do it. So
Yeah,
it
we talking about
matters, Jordan.
playoff teams. No, it don't. When we talking about the
What the
playoffs.
hell?
How is that the point? We talking about playoffs. You talking about everybody don't do it. Yeah, the Hornets. Yeah, like who gives a damn? We talking about the playoffs. 8 teams, bro. Bro, y'all hate when y'all do this, bro. Y'all hate that.
You do it more than all of
Yeah,
us
we
do it.
notifying
You do
winning,
it.
man.
Right.
No, y'all talking about they play for each other. Everybody playing for each other in the playoffs. Yes, they are.
No, they are because if they all.
How did they get to the playoffs?
Get the hell out of here because they got a really good player. How about that?
Dude, they have two of the
The Nuggets are not playing for each other on defense.
Yes, they are.
They are not.
And their body language is telling me everything I need to know about what the Nuggets, what's going on in that Nuggets locker room. All the gesturing. Look, Jordan, I'm gonna tell you this. I've been locked in. Look, I took a departure from NBA basketball for the most part. My brain has been zoned into NCAA, women's, men's, everything. I wanted to watch just college hoops. What happened with Duke? What happened for UConn on the women's side? Congrats to Paige Becker, Sarah Strong, and Gino Auriemma. Gino Auriemma said something really brilliant and beautiful. He said, at some point during this year, we fell in love with each other.
Everybody bought in.
We came in, we liked each other before, we hung out a lot, but at some point we fell in love with each other. I can tell you from watching the Raptors championship in 2019, the same thing happened for that team. There's a lot of teams out there. You stack up all this talent on paper. You got this superstar with another superstar, and you're like, yo, on paper, we're stacked. This ain't 2K. This is real life. And in real life, you're going to get down 5. You're going to get down 4. You're going to make a big mistake. And I'm going to tell you, these teams that actually win in those moments, they do not crumble when shit goes bad.
Yeah, I'm gonna push back on that and say Kawhi Leonard missing the first half of the season it takes away some of the adversity boost that you're trying to give them because it don't happen. That's what I'm trying to say. He ain't been with them all year long, going through all of these battles. He just been trying to ramp up so he can be Kawhi Leonard. Basically, what I'm saying is y'all bringing up minute points that 8 teams in the playoffs, all of them gonna play for each other. All of them gonna try to win. The bottom line?
What about the other 8 teams?
Yeah, the bottom line.
16, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about. I'm talking about in the Western Conference. But the bottom line, when we talk about the Clippers, the thing that I'm saying that whether y'all disagree with it or not, I'm saying what's going to take them apart is their second superstar. You're going to have to beat teams with 2 superstars. That's why I'm not high on Memphis. That's why I'm not really high on the Rockets. You're going to have to beat teams with 2 superstars. It's been like that lately. Or they're going to have to play a 2 superstar role.
Not like the Lakers winning the NBA championship.
Yeah, the only team
it's possible.
Yeah, but the Lakers are the
Lakers,
only team that has it.
Yes,
like
but
the Lakers
hold
will
on,
win the
hold
NBA
on.
Keep
Yes,
going. Keep
the
going.
Warriors can do it
Keep
because they
going,
have Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Hold on, the Warriors can do it
guys who
because
can
they
get
got
to that
Jimmy
level.
Butler. Yes, the Nuggets can do it because they have Jokic and Murray. The Lakers can do it because they have LeBron
Put
and
Murray into
Luka.
this?
Look, here he goes.
We've
He's gonna start
seen
hating.
Murray cook up in the playoffs.
We've seen
Wait,
James
so,
Harden cook in the playoffs.
Jordan, who's better to you,
You-
James Harden or Jamal Murray? That's just me. Genuine question. Who's better?
Yes, I think James Harden is
We've
better
seen
as a
Jaylen
playmaker.
Brown cook in the playoffs.
He's not
Hold
better,
on,
Jordan. He's
hold
way
on.
better.
Can y'all
We've
let
seen
me
Darius Garland
answer
cook in
my
the playoffs.
question?
Go ahead, Jordan.
Let me
Jordan,
answer
Jordan,
my
as you were
question.
saying.
Answer
Hold
my
on,
own
hold on,
question.
hold on. Oh,
You let me answer the question, bro.
Jordan,
Number
as you were
one,
saying,
I don't
Jordan.
know if
I-
you've seen Darius Garland kicking the playoffs. No.
First of all, number one, I've said this when I started the argument. It depends on what James Harden you're getting. You're getting James Harden as a playmaker. I love James Harden as a playmaker, but I think he's going to have to abandon that playmaking role a little bit more and become a scorer. So when we want to compare scorers, I'm going to take Jamal Murray in the playoffs. Jamal Murray been killing in the playoffs. So I'm going to take that. That's what I'm saying. All of the playmaking is fine. We know that he was a good playmaker when he was in Philly. What happened to him in the playoffs? He played good 2 games, and then he make the rest of them, and they played their ass right out the playoffs. That's how that happens. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all.
Joel was hurt.
Jordan.
No, because
Kawhi
James
Leonard
Harden
that
finished the
good.
game with like 7 points too, though. Don't
And
forget
Joel
about
Embiid
that.
had 9.
Yeah, but what exactly? So why wouldn't James Harden get 30?
Yo, he's
Jordan,
been averaging, he's been averaging over
James
24
Harden,
points per
James Harden
game
can't be
post
your
All-Star game.
consistent only offensive. He can't do
Right,
that.
they still
But
lose.
that's exactly why I'm saying I
But he
don't
doesn't
know if
need
the
to
Clippers.
do that.
Jordan,
Why
but
do
Jordan,
you think
that's
he
what-
needs to do that? Why do
But
you
because
think he needs to do that?
I'm under the I just gave you the reason. I'm under the belief that you're gonna need a team that plays with 2 superstars at a high level. They're gonna have to pick it up. They're gonna
You're
have to
saying
pick it up.
scoring.
So
You're
what?
saying
So what?
Yes,
Kawhi-
it has to be
so-
scoring.
Why?
You're
Why?
highly devaluing this
So,
roster.
I
though.
want to stay on
Like
this page, Jordan. I want to stay on this page. I want to stay on your page. So you've seen Kawhi Leonard in the playoffs get busy and arguably be the best
Every
player in
time.
the playoffs.
Every
Right?
time.
You've seen him get busy.
Yeah,
So if
and
they're
if
gonna
Paul
get there-
George don't play, they lose.
Okay, so stay
Kawhi
right with
gets
stay with
hurt,
me.
they lose.
Wait, stay with me. So if Kawhi Leonard, to your point, to your point, Jordan, Kawhi Leonard's going to be the bucket getter that he is, right? If he's going to be the bucket getter that he is, we're asking, to your point, we're asking James Harden to also be the bucket getter. He's already been a playmaker, so there is no separation between the two. He's going to be a playmaker anyway. You want him to be the bucket getter that he is. Why?
Because for them to win, they're going to have to match levels of scoring. Kawhi, for you to think that Kawhi is going to come in this series and average 40, even Norman Powell. I love Norman Powell.
Nope.
Hold on,
Whoa,
listen.
whoa. Okay,
Hold
I'm
on,
with
listen
you.
to
Keep
what
going,
I'm saying.
Keep going, Jordan.
But
Keep
listen to what I'm saying.
Keep going.
I love Norman Powell, but I'm not going to, as a coach, I'm not going to bank on Norman Powell averaging 20 in the regular season. He should average 22 in the playoffs. Probably not going to happen. We've seen guys like that average 20 and then start averaging 16, 18 in the playoffs because that's what happens when you shorten the roster. Same with Zubac. Zubac averaged 16. Get ready for that number to probably go down to 13. So what I'm saying is you're going to need guys like James and Kawhi to pick it up.
Back to the Zoo hate, man.
No, it's not about Zoo
that's why I
hate. I'm just
disagree.
telling you, like that's where teams been winning at. They've
Jordan,
been having 2 guys that can get off.
Yeah, I get that, Jordan. Here's my thing, though. You're saying that Harden has to play to this extreme level. We know who James Harden is, and we talked about this during the last.
Not
two
the
playoff
same
runs.
James though.
He's gonna, and we all understand that. But over the last couple playoff runs, James Harden has given you about 3 good games out of the 7. I expect.
Yeah,
James
you got
to
win
give you
4.
Okay, no, this is why I'm saying he doesn't. Because and it's going to be a big disagreement because you don't believe in guys like Norman Powell. You don't
No,
believe
I
in
do.
guys
I
like
do.
Zubac. You
Okay.
don't believe in guys like Bogey. But I believe that these are guys that can step in and give you 20 on any given night and be that second best scorer for the Clippers. They have 5 legitimate guys.
Bogey probably gonna average 9 points a game.
5 legit. Okay, but it'd be that one game where Bogey come and go 4 for 6 from 3. And
Okay.
then what?
Okay, what about this though, Ron? Okay,
Yeah.
what about this though? Let's go to the Mavericks. Let's go to the Mavericks.
No, hold on,
Oh,
right quick,
y'all
though,
ain't
right?
even
But
talked about Chris Dunn.
before we get to the Mavericks, all I want to say is
Swap
I
is not
believe
here.
in I believe in the Clippers' second floor, like kind of how Marsh said. You got your elite team, then you got your just the rest of the teams. I believe in the Clippers' second options or potential second options more than probably everybody else in the league because they
I probably would agree
legitimately
with
have
you.
4 guys that can get you 20 on any given night.
I probably would agree.
Boston?
Hold on, I probably would agree with
Boston,
you on.
I'll give you.
I
Boston
probably
doesn't
would agree
count
with
that
you on that,
out.
except for I would take out that. But this is also I got 2 points here. Number one, I would agree with you if
you had a coach who was going to sit James Harden, and I'm only bringing up James Harden because if you're not scoring and you want those other guys to flourish, you play those guys a little bit more, to your point. So what I'm saying is, if you had a coach like Email who would say, you know what, James may not be scoring this game, but Norman Powell cooking, Bogey cooking. I'm gonna play them more than I'm playing James.
James is the one that gets them the ball. James,
first of all, Norman. First of all,
I chose Fred VanVleet over James Harden.
Yeah, the number 2 seed in the Western Conference. So I don't know what you're talking about. But anyway, but regardless, let's go back to the Mavericks too. The Mavericks too with last year. They had 2 guys that got off. Kyrie, Luka. They had 2 guys that was amazing, and they beat the Thunder. Now, PJ Washington was a big part of the reason why they beat the Thunder. But so was. Yeah, of course. And also, the Thunder had to have a guy like we've been talking about. J-Dub stepping up. J-Dub got to step up in order for the Thunder to be what they are. So that's what I'm saying. You need those 2 guys, and I'm not saying that the Clippers don't have it. All I'm saying is we don't know what James Harden we gonna get.
I think the point Ron's making is it doesn't need to be James Harden every night. It could be James Harden, for example, last year against they played the Mavs in round 1. They won 2 games in the series. They were also the James Harden's 2 best games in the series. Yeah. That was without Kawhi. Sure. This year, let's do this the most basic way. Like basketball is more nuanced than what I'm about to say, but just follow the blueprint, not everything I'm saying. We know we're gonna get Kawhi Leonard every game. There's a baseline level that Kawhi Leonard is gonna be at, assuming he's healthy, in the postseason every game. We're gonna get Kawhi Leonard's production. James Harden, we might not get what we want from James Harden every game. But let's say 7-game series, we get a James Harden type game 2 or 3 times within the series. Yep. So if you get a Kawhi Leonard game plus a James Harden game 2 times, the Clippers believe they will win those 2 games.
That's what
the Clippers believe. That means they think they're going into a series with at least 2 wins because they're going to get a James Harden game along with Kawhi being Kawhi every game. Now, to win the other 2 games, maybe it doesn't need to be a James Harden game. Maybe they need 1 game from Norman Powell. Maybe they need 1 game from Zoo. Maybe they need 1 game from a Bogey or Batum making a bunch of threes. Maybe that's what they need. Whatever they're thinking, I'm assuming it's we win our 2 games because Kawhi and James both show up in the same game. Yep. Then our other 2 games that we need to win within the series, Norman Powell has to step up. Zoo has to step up.
Like James Harden and Kawhi step up too, though.
Yeah, we get the Kawhi every game. James Harden can have an off shooting night, but if Norman Powell picks up that slack and James Harden is still playmaking, still creating for other guys, we can win that game. If Zoo has a mismatch in the post and we go to that religiously with Kawhi doing what Kawhi does, we don't need James Harden to score 28 that game because we can win with a James Harden going 4 for 14 because we still got the Zoo production.
But that's where I'm going.
Defense can win you a game, and defense can win you a game. Yeah, you can win a game 102 to 96. And you didn't even have anyone really go off, but
Bingo.
you had.
But that's why I'm saying. But I get that's what their idea is. But that's why I'm saying I disagree that they're a championship team because with that logic, I don't think I think you need your role players 400%. You need them, but I don't need my role player. If I got to rely on James Harden might not play today, so my role players can steal the game. That's not a championship team.
But that's what happened last year. Isn't that what happened last year? But that goes to your point, Jordan, because isn't that what happened last year with Dallas? I mean, Irv wasn't great in that Oklahoma City series. Irv was not great in that Oklahoma City series.
Numbers wise, he wasn't. Because
he was not great in that.
He averaged like 14.
Yeah, he wasn't great in that Oklahoma.
He was getting blitzed every time.
But he was great. He was great when it mattered.
Cut shots after cut shots.
Exactly.
But to your point, you're talking about scoring. 14, 15 is not enough. But to go back to what you said, PJ Washington got busy. Not only did PJ Washington get busy, that Dallas defense was what saved them in a lot of games. Now, sure, SGA made that bonehead play at the end, right? But for the most part, that's what they did. Kyrie Irving was not great in that series in terms of a scorer. He wasn't, to what you're talking about, like what he was against Minnesota when he was just straight cutting ass and Luka was cutting ass. No, they needed other stuff. And to Mars's point, right? And to Mars's point, when you get those other things from those other players, you do have a shot to win.
I mean, I guess all I'm saying is
they're better when he's their second best player.
100%. Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. That's why I disagree that they're a championship team.
Everyone agrees.
No, hang on. They also, Mars, if you look at the splits in the wins and losses, James passes better, scores better, scores more efficiently, scores more in their wins than their losses. So clearly
that was because of the season without Kawhi.
And it's Fair.
So he was relied on to do more. So he had to play better when Kawhi wasn't there. To be fair, just
but there being almost 6-point gap between wins and losses is a huge gap.
Absolutely.
Right. So I think if you can get, and I don't want to get into the psychoanalysis of players too much, but don't underestimate how much he wants this, as this might be one of his last chances to do it. He is 35 years old. Correct. He is an all-time great. You know, he is one of the greatest players of all time, and this is something that's missing from his resume. And I have been watching James Harden since he was a rookie. This is about as dialed in as I've ever seen him. This is about as distraction-less, free, whatever, drama-free a James Harden team. I think this is the perfect team. They've done a great job of building a team around Kawhi and James Harden. Like, this team is perfect. And
yeah, it's also
to the point where
too. Don't
to
forget
the
about
point
that
where
too,
you know there are certain teams where if the second best player doesn't show up, you don't have a chance, right? Mm-hmm. If that second scorer, like with LeBron and AD, right? If that second player just blanks that day and shoots 3 for 18, you're cooked. There's nothing. You're not good enough. But with the Clippers, I think you can sustain 1 or 2 stinkers from James Harden and probably still split the pair. Like, I'm not saying they're a championship favorite. I'm not saying that. I'm saying if Kawhi Leonard reaches the heights that I believe Kawhi Leonard is peaking towards, if Mars's theory holds true that they're hoping for him to peak in the playoffs as opposed to peak in April, then I think they have a chance.
What if James Harden go? What if James Harden go 11 points, 13 assists, 9 turnovers? You think they win?
I'm glad you brought that up.
Game to win. That's a tough game to win.
Yes, I'm glad you brought.
That's also what goes along with him not scoring well, turning the ball over.
But he just made the point of them having.
Like we say, I'm gonna be honest. We say this for every team. Let's make this abundantly clear. Whatever championship contender we're talking about, if one of their 2 best players routinely plays poorly, they're probably not going to win.
Routinely.
Like that,
yeah, James could.
OKC, if J Double Chet routinely play poorly, OKC are gonna have a hard time winning. If Steph Curry or Jimmy Butler routinely play poorly, Golden State are gonna have a tough time winning. So if Luka or LeBron routinely play poorly, throw in Austin Reeves routinely play poorly, they're gonna have a tough time winning. This is true for every single team. So like, if that's gonna be our reservation for every team, like,
that's exactly what I was saying.
If I may, real quick. I agree that if your 2 best superstars or whatever, if they routinely play bad, I agree with you 100%, Mars. But and mind you, I'm not saying that the Clippers are a championship level team. I'm just kind of going off of what Pim was saying about this team being able to go further, right? That is the mark of a great team, a championship level team. The mark of a team is if one of my players are John. All right, Diesel. Yeah, later. If one of my players aren't playing up to par for a game or 2, the mark of a championship team is having a six man, 7th man, 8th man that could come in and like Ron was saying, if Bogey come off that bench and hit 4 for 6, you know what I'm saying? If Norman Powell is having a heater that night, that's how those are the teams that win championships. Those are the teams that go on deep playoff runs. The teams who have those 3 or 4 guys that they can bring off the bench to score a couple points or make some big plays. That's how you win. You can't just win depending on these 2 guys are gonna do everything for us. They're gonna win 4 games every series. That's I mean, to me, it's unrealistic. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have some guys that can get down.
That's why having the best bench and the best coach is more important.
I mean, I agree. But I agree. I agree with that to an extent because I also feel like Ox is right. Like sometimes your role players have to come up and play too. But usually for a championship team, the role players don't come up and try to take off. And try to take away from what the star is supposed to do. Usually on a championship team, your stars play good, and then sometimes your stars playing good isn't good enough. Usually, not the other way around to where my stars ain't playing good enough, but my role players play good enough. We're gonna win. That's usually not how that works. So that's why I'm saying, and I know James Harden. I've been in around James Harden playoffs watching James Harden in Houston for a long time. He don't have games in the middle. He has a good game. Or game.
Either awesome or he sucked.
Black or white.
And so it's like that's why I'm saying it. And what scares me too about this James Harden is I don't even know if his good game will be a James Harden game. His good game might be 22-10.
And I don't think that's enough for them to win. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's enough for them
that was my next question to you. So they got the playoffs start this Friday. This whole thing is already set. This playoffs start this Friday. What is it going to take to beat Denver? What do they have to do to beat Denver? How do they beat them?
Number one, they're gonna have to. Denver is seem like a walk in the park on defense. Like they can just score on them anytime they want to. Yeah, but also I will say that in the playoffs, sometimes a lot of those teams surprise you, bro. Like a lot of those teams that was really bad on defense sometimes, especially with championship experience, something about it is just turns it around and you don't get that same shit. Like people think it's sweet and they try it too long and they end up losing because we know Denver's gonna be amazing on offense. I think they will. Now, the problem with it is if they're amazing on offense and the Clippers and James Harden is having one of them games where he forget how to pass it and he starts 7 turnovers, you're liable to go down 20 and they may not come back. So that's why I'm saying I feel like 2 guys have to play exceptionally well in the playoffs. Can
I counter that with the Clippers?
Sure, go ahead.
Can I counter that with the Denver Nuggets? As bad as they are on defense, I mean, we've seen teams that are bad on defense in the regular season and pick it up in the playoffs. Now, I'm not saying that the Denver Nuggets have to be the 2004 Detroit Pistons, but what level of defense do they need to play to beat the Clippers? We've already discussed that this kid Dunn. Okay, we're gonna let him shoot the basketball. He's one of their guards, so we're gonna let him shoot the basketball. Now that leaves guys like Kawhi Leonard, who I'm already on the page that we're gonna have to eat that production from Kawhi Leonard. We're not gonna slow him down. We're gonna have to eat that production from him, and somebody's gonna have to cancel him out. Whether it's Joker, whether it's Jamal Murray, somebody's gonna have to cancel him out.
You got to bring Jared Dudley out of retirement, too.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no Kawhi stuff again.
Oh my God. I'm spinning narratives again. The
Nuggets do have DeAndre Jordan though, so you know they're stopping that.
They definitely got DeAndre Jordan.
They 100%.
Mars spinning narratives with Ox again. I'm just letting y'all know if I lose to Mars, it's been a conspiracy since I came up here. It's been a little weird since I came up here, so that's why I came up in the debate room. I ain't got no excuse. I'm just saying it's conspiracy all over this.
Bro,
but anyway, let's get back to Chill
You
point.
sound like Don Staley right now.
Whatever. Let's get back to Chill's point.
Jordan, just know the final boss as a judge has your back. Just know that.
Whatever.
He in that courtroom with you.
As I was saying, Jordan. So they do have the Clippers have some offensive flaws. I won't argue that point. They do have some offensive flaws. So the idea of the Clippers just being able to get whatever they want on Denver come playoff time is ridiculous for me to think that Denver can pick up their defense and slow down the Clippers' other guys. Slow their other guys down. And we already know what they look like with Zubac off the floor. They're really small. I mean, like we've seen teams go to their small ball lineup, but this Clipper team is not a big team. Even when we've seen teams go to small ball lineups and still be big. This Clipper team is really small, which means rebound is going to be an issue. Shot creation is going to be an issue. Not only shot creation is going to be an issue, shot making is going to be an issue when you're going up against teams that are bigger. So when I think about what's going on with the Clippers, is it ridiculous for me to think that they got their hands full with Denver?
Also, I will say Denver's defense is going to look good against the Clippers because the Clippers, what the Clippers lineup will do is force, it will force Denver's defense to look better because like I'm gonna turn the Clippers offense into good defense. Like I'm leaving if they want to put Chris Dunn on the floor, put him on the floor. We're gonna be a hell of a defensive team with Chris Dunn on the floor on offense. So if Derrick Jones Jr., I like Derrick Jones Jr. too, but I love Derrick Jones Jr., but it's like put him on the floor too. I'm gonna try to live with that, and I'm gonna live with shots from Chris Dunn to be a good defensive style. All I need to do is miss. I don't got to guard like the best perimeter defender on the court. I just need him to miss. We get the rebound, that possession over with. So I didn't shut your water off, and I got hitters on the other end. I got them hitters on the other end that can get that lead going up. That's all I'm saying. So I feel like we don't need to be talking about Denver's. I mean, we do need to talk about Denver defense because it definitely sucks. But don't be surprised if teams like that start playing good defense once the playoffs come around.
All right, y'all. You guys know the drill. If you are watching the video, first off, turn on your notification bells. Second off, like the video. Third off, subscribe. And fourth off, which probably should be first off, become a YouTube member on the Players Choice channel. Yo, I got a couple more things I want to get into. I see that you guys have sent through some super chats, and I also want to talk about a couple games from last night. There was a national championship game, and there was also a playing team that looked like a playoff team. So I want to talk about both of those. Before I do that and we move off of the standings, and I'm going to show this for the rest of the week, as long as they keep uploading it on the NBA Instagram. But these are the playoff possibilities right now in the West and the East. You can see just how crazy it is in the West. Like the West, every team from basically 3 to 8 can end up anywhere.
So the Rockets can't get no lower than the 3rd seed.
If we lose every game and the Lakers win every game, that's the only way we drop to 3rd. Literally the only way. If we win one game, we secure 2. So
You're gonna win one game, so there you go.
So the Lakers can
we
possibly go
might
from
play the
2
Clippers.
to 8. That's what can happen with the Lakers. They can go from 2 to 8. Oh my
James
God.
Harden
have to lose
against the Rockets, that is
I'm-
cinema.
We
I'm
might
not
play
making
against
cinema.
Clippers. So the Clippers gonna cook us, Mars. Just know that.
I mean, we play our last 3 or 4 games is Lakers, Clippers, and Denver. So
Damn. So we
yeah,
get
last 3 games is Lakers, Clippers, and Denver. So
yeah.
interesting.
I think that any team that's in the playoffs, especially in the Western Conference specifically, they're looking at that wounded dog in Memphis, and that's who they want. And you guys know that when you win a playoff series, your confidence level goes through the roof. And I think each of these teams, whether it's Houston, whether it's the Lakers, at the top of the Western Conference, even Oklahoma City, as good as they are, they're looking at a wounded dog in Memphis, and that's who they want in the first round.
Be careful
Because
what you ask for, Chill.
Yes, I do
Yeah,
understand
there's
that.
no
Bro.
such thing as an easy matchup, but I'm
No,
definitely
but-
choosing Memphis above all.
There's a difference between an easy matchup and a less difficult matchup. So if you look down the line of these Denver and Golden State and the Clippers, Minnesota, if I'm the Rockets, who do I want to see? Who am I more interested in? Let me rephrase that. Who am I the least interested in seeing? So the least interested team I'm interested in seeing is probably Minnesota.
For me, it's the Warriors, but that's
I'm thinking
that's
Minnesota.
PTSD.
Right. I'm thinking it's Minnesota. But if I'm a Rocket, if I'm the Rockets and we're in the 2 spot, who is the team that I'd much rather see if I had to pick
Memphis.
between these teams? Definitely it's Memphis.
Yeah.
Because that gives us a confidence boost. I'm pretty confident that we can beat them.
Now, if we lose to them, what does that do for confidence?
Now I think that's something completely different. Wow. Now we have to talk about something in the offseason, because I think that if you end up losing to Houston, that means Ja got busy. That means Jaren Jackson was the elite rim protector that he was the entire series. That means that you got nothing from Jalen Green. That means that Sengun was completely taken out of the series. I think that's what happened.
Or we just sucked. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just we just trash. But yeah, I'm Memphis would be my ideal.
Yep.
It's crazy that there's 3-4 games left and we don't know anything besides who the 1 seed is.
Nothing.
Chill.
Pretty much know who the 2 seed
If you
is.
had to guess what John Morant is averaging over his last 10 games, what would you guess?
27.
Nope.
No.
Damn.
I think it's less than that.
You're both wrong.
Is it more than that?
29.
Wow. I didn't know
It's
that.
30. He's averaging
Yeah.
30 over his last 10 games. Ja cooking. He's not just cooking Khalil Ware on game winners. He's not just cooking the Miami Heat and Davion Mitchell. He's cooking. So I'm just saying, this team, when we walked into this season, we were all wondering the same thing. Can they take the next step? They haven't had the season. But you know what? They fired their coach. And a lot of people have been really critical about it. And then Ja, pointed some finger guns and everyone's trolling them. People acting like this team can't beat you. They could beat you bad. Okay.
I still feel the same way about him, Ben.
Good work, Ron.
I need to rethink. I need to
high on the
rethink
Grizz.
everything I'm thinking
Higher.
because Ron agrees with me, and now I'm not sure what I'm thinking. My bad. I'll take it all back.
Yeah, you can take it back. I won't take nothing back. I still believe the Grizzlies can pop anybody.
The Grizzlies can beat teams.
Interesting
It
choice.
comes back
Ron.
to the same thing. Like, I'm more than likely going to bet on them losing, but that doesn't mean they can't win.
Well, yeah, I understand that. I'm saying but see, you don't think they will win. I think they will win.
Against
That's the
who?
difference.
Everyone? Like whoever they play in first round?
So Lakers.
Besides
I'm gonna go
OKC.
with the Lakers.
Besides OKC.
I think they got a better shot against OKC than y'all give them credit for. But that,
Bro, you've been talking that all year about Oklahoma City and Lou Dort, and I'm living with him.
Yeah, he been wrong. He been wrong all year.
I feel the same way. And I said this earlier in the season. So this isn't a hot take. I mean, it's still a hot take, but it isn't as hot as when I first said it. The Grizzlies, to me, they got the same type of roster construction as OKC.
Huh?
So once again, I'm gonna run it down to you, and I've said this before. We have a
you was wrong there.
We have an explosive point guard. Obviously, SGA is better than Ja.
Substantially.
But we have an explosive point guard.
Okay, sure.
Then we have other scorers as well. So
You saying they're locked and loaded?
You could say J-Dub is Desmond Bane, and once again, I'm not necessarily comparing.
Okay,
J-Dub.
sure.
You can say J-Dub's better than Desmond Bane. I'm still a two-way. I'm still a two-way player. I'm a shooter. I play good defense, and I can score.
Mhm.
Then you got the double big lineup: Zach Edey, Triple J, iHeart, Chet, and I actually argue that
in the playoffs. He might.
It sounds
he
like
might
they're
play
packing heat, Ron.
what.
It sounds like they're packing heat.
They are packing heat, and then we have a deep bench. We probably have the deepest bench.
Find
in
John
the
Morant
playoffs.
again.
Mm-hmm. Ja Morant.
I feel like you just okay. So even if I agree with you, right, just based on what you said, they're what, just a poor man's OKC?
You could say that. I don't feel that they're a poor man's OKC, but you could feel that way.
I mean,
Let's say for the sake of
SGA
argument,
is substantially better than Ja, and J-Dub is clearly better than Desmond Bane. And
Is
Jaren
J-Dub clearly
Jackson
better than Desmond Bane?
Yes, he is wrong. Yeah.
Okay, and then when we get to
On
Jaren
both
Jackson,
sides of
he's
the ball.
clearly better. He's clearly better than the two bigs that OKC.
I'm
has.
fine with
I know you
Jaren
guys
Jackson
hype
being
Chet
better than
16
Chet.
points,
I'm fine with Jaren Jackson being better than Chet. Isaiah Hartenstein is clearly better than Zach Edey.
There's no way about that, Ron. No,
he could score better, I guess. He's gonna score more points, but in terms of everything else, I don't. And I feel like y'all be hyping Hartenstein, but
I definitely do be hyping Hartenstein for sure.
That's what I'm like. And we don't speak enough about what Zach Edey's meant for this team and what Zach Edey brings to the Memphis Grizzlies.
Glass cleaner.
Yeah, them 20 minutes have been extremely valuable. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep, they play with one of the fastest paces in the league, and when he's on the floor, they play a lot faster. I ain't gonna argue that, and he plays a lot faster. That part I won't argue. But when we get into the playoffs, the game slows down, especially a big like Zach Edey, who doesn't know how to play defense at that level, will get in foul trouble, and he can get played off the floor. On top of that, playing against a Houston team where Sengun's going to drag him away from the basket, right? Sengun's going to drag him away from the basket, get him in that mid-range, and the passer that Sengun is, which you guys, Mars in particular, does not give him enough credit for the distributor that
I think he's a good passer. I think he's decent.
I think he's a damn good passer, Mars. I don't think you got, on a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being Joker, 1 being Killian Hayes, I think he's a 7.5.
Well, Killian Hayes is a good passer, but
I think he's a 7.5, maybe even an 8. I think he's that good as a distributor. He's a damn.
I'd give him 6.5, 7.
Yeah, I do think he's that good. But to my point, I think that one of the matchups that the Houston Rockets would exploit would be Sengun going at Zach Edey, and it wouldn't just be on the box. I think that it would be away from the basket. I think you would put him in a lot of the pick and roll action. I think you would put him. I think that you would speed the game up to make him run. And make him more of a rim protector at the rim, which Sengun now stopping in transition. I think that throws a monkey wrench in what Zach Edey is trying to do.
Chill, Sengun ain't putting Zach Edey on the block.
I didn't say he was.
Now stretching him out and doing all of that, I can see him doing that. But if I'm Zach Edey, just shoot the ball. Go ahead.
I mean, I think the bigger problem is Zach Edey defending the pick and roll with Jalen Green getting downhill. But
yes,
that's what he struggled with this season. So then they ended up resorting to having Jalen Wells practically face guard Jalen Green the whole game. Mm-hmm. That's the bigger problem. And now they don't have Brandon Clark. So when Zach Edey, because Zach Edey barely doesn't play that many minutes anyway. So when Zach Edey's off the floor, then you're going to Jaren Jackson at the 5, and I think that presents its own types of problems. And Jaren Jackson Jr. still has foul problems, which is a major issue. And then we bring in Steven Adams. Like, imagine Steven Adams in the game when Jaren Jackson is the lone big. You know how many offensive rebounds we're going to get?
Yes. Destroy them on the glass.
If Jaren Jackson is out there by himself and we throw Steven Adams out there with Şengün, with Amen, with Jabari,
kill him on the glass.
We're gonna get like 80% of the offensive rebounds.
Yes.
Like
chill. This is one of those times I'm talking about where Jaren Jackson has to be able to come up with 12, 13 boards. The gang rebound.
Oh, he's not going to be able to. He's not going to.
Well, yeah, and that's the point that she'll be making about him not being able to rebound.
Mm-hmm.
When you get to situations like this is very detrimental. That Jaren Jackson Jr. is not a good rebounder.
It could be the difference in the series, Moss.
Time like
he was
that,
a DeMontis Sabonis level rebounder. That would be very ideal.
This could be the. It could be
that's
to Ox's point.
That would be that.
Yeah, we ain't gonna do all of that. Let's chill out on that. But to Ox's point, that could be the difference in the series. Like the series could be separated by 8 or 10 points, and those 8 or 10 points could come right off the offensive glass in the second or the third quarter, where Jaren Jackson is getting beat up. And now, not only is he getting beat up, he's getting beat up on the offensive glass, and he's fouling guys who are getting N1s, who are getting putbacks. That throws a monkey wrench in what they're trying to do. So now he's got to come off the floor, and you got to go back to Zach Edey. Because you got to go back to Zach Edey. That's playing right into our hands, because we got a rookie that we now can go after who doesn't really understand what defenses are. He doesn't really understand how to play playoff basketball. So I think that Memphis and Houston, I think that's a good matchup for Houston.
Even with that being said, though, just going back to second, we've seen players were incredible. We've seen series where incredible rebounders like DeMontis Sabonis needed help. DeMontis, in that series, DeMontis was still coming up 13, 15, 16 rebound games. You know what I'm saying? He was on the glass. He was grabbing rebounds. It just wasn't enough. He needed help. You know,
I saw Shaq. I saw David Robinson and Tim Duncan on the glass, and Greg Popovich is telling these guys, "Yo, you got to help these dudes on the glass against Shaq. These two dudes can't handle him. You got to get your ass in there and help him."
Right. I mean, that was the game. He had 15 boards.
Yep.
Kevon Looney, I don't even remember how many he had, but him and Draymond Green, it's like, bro, he was on the glass. So to Jaren Jackson, just keeping it Jaren Jackson, he's gonna have to step.
He's gonna have to rebound.
I go Houston in 5 or 6 in that series.
Serving Memphis.
All right, fellas. It's a couple games from last night that I want to talk about, as mentioned. Let's go ahead and start with the Sacramento Kings doing what they did last night. Zach LaVine dropped a season high 43 points. He had 4 assists as well, made 8 threes, and the Kings beat the Pistons by a score of 127-117. Also, Debo was in full effect. I don't know how many chains he snatched, but I know he got a few. He had 37 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. How are we feeling about the Kings this late in the year?
Well, it doesn't matter. It's the Sacramento Kings. We're not going to do anything, so.
I mean, I agree with Ox, even if he's saying that in jest, but I do agree with him.
Where is your swipe of fandom?
Me?
Well, Ox is a realist.
Everybody, y'all just realists, huh?
Yeah, when it comes to Sacramento, Ox is a realist. Ox knows when. All right, listen. This shit ain't going nowhere.
Chill. Ox said that so condescendingly.
Ox at best thinks they're gonna make the playoffs.
I could say it condescendingly, but it's still true. Like, we ain't going nowhere.
I
don't think we deserve a chance. You know what I'm saying? Like I understand like the plan, but the gap between 9 and 8, to me, it's like we shouldn't even deserve to be in the play-in. Us or Dallas. You know what I'm saying? But since we are, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully we can catch up. Hopefully we can get Memphis.
Has a 9 seed ever made the playoffs?
Bro,
Memphis did it in 2021. Yeah, since the play.
Yeah, they beat the Warriors.
Memphis in 21, I think.
They beat the Warriors. Yep.
And then they lost in 5 games against the Jazz. And I think the Warriors could have maybe
should have gotten
did some better against the Jazz.
Donovan Mitchell didn't play. Yeah, that was against them. But Ron, to answer your question, Cade Cunningham is back, so he looked really good yesterday. To be honest with you, I watched Debo. I'm gonna fight that dude, yo, because I don't like his bullying. I just don't like it. I'm not a fan of bullies, and I'm gonna get to my spot. You're not gonna do anything about it. I'm gonna hop right over you, whether it's at the nail, whether it's at the elbow, and I'm just gonna get there, and you're gonna do nothing about it. Nothing. There is nothing that you can do about it.
I'm curious though, because Zach got off last night, did the same thing against Cleveland, you know, right? And we're getting to the end of the season. Is it possible to say that we're catching our stride right now and maybe could? I know I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it, so I won't say it. I'm sorry,
You
Ron.
can't.
Ron, I'm sorry for saying it last week. I won't repeat that. But is it possible that we can make an exciting play-in in an exciting first round?
I mean, I think it'll be exciting in the fact that you guys will be swept entertainingly.
We've seen that before. We've seen entertaining sweeps.
Yeah,
that's
so
not.
but like I don't
Oh
think
yeah, with the Celtics versus
Denver and the Lakers. That was an entertaining sweep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't think you.
They're not going to sweep. They're not going to sweep us. Yeah, they're not going to sweep us. But
okay, I don't think you guys have a chance of doing anything. I think Zach LaVine is better when like all he has to worry about is just putting the ball in the basket.
That's it.
Like,
you ain't got to do nothing else.
If
just
you
give me buckets.
like for me, like Zach LaVine is like very, very talented, but you can see his feel for the game is just like negative. Like it's just really bad. So if you just make his life simple, he comes off a DHO. If the shot's not there, rescreen, the shot will be there. If not, get off the ball. If you start asking Zach LaVine to initiate offense and create, like he's not going to do that. So I think Zach LaVine is doing a good job of just making his reads and his decisions easier, and I think probably coaching in that sense. But I don't think you guys are going to do anything personally. I've been in general, not last night because he barely played, but in general, like the Malik Monk experiment with this group hasn't been great to me. So that's one I was wrong about. But next season, I'm curious to see. Like, I think Keon Ellis has to be there full time starting.
At the lead guard.
He's not a point guard, but you're gonna have to run it through DeMontis. Like, he needs to play. He's too good defensively to not play. So you got to start with that, and then you got to figure it out. It's gonna be interesting. I'm not high on you guys, but I think you guys can be a team that can be competitive against anyone on any given night. But just on a consistent basis, I think you guys are probably just gonna be mid. That's kind of where I see it.
Fair enough.
And Ron just left us, so do I read the super chats?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Hyama Skeet Nielsen from Denmark, I think. Said, chill, you say MVP voting matters, but Stockton's highest finish was 7th, and you say he's better than SGA, who finished 2nd last year and is going to win it this year. Is the 90s that much better than today?
I think the players are.
Let's look at Stockton's MVP voting stuff. In the year, Stockton came 7th in MVP, and I'm going to read the 6 above him.
I think that was in 92.
He came 7th in 89. He came 8th in 95. We'll go with the 7th place finish in 89.
Right.
Okay. I'm going to just ask you, where would these guys rank in today's game? These are the guys who finished above John Stockton. So first place was Magic Johnson. Best player in the league today?
Definitely top 2, top 3.
Top 2, top 3. Okay.
Yeah,
best player.
Definitely top 3.
Everyone's saying top 3. One saying best player. Michael Jordan was 2nd.
Best player in the game today.
Okay. Number 32 was 3rd.
Top 3 player in the game today.
Okay.
Top 7.
I'll say
think
top
he's better
3.
than. I'm in the minority. I think he's better than Giannis, but that's me.
I could see it, chill. It's a world.
He's not. Okay.
He's top 3.
Okay,
He better than SGA.
So you'd have him as the 2nd best player in the world today.
It'd be Jordan. It'd be Jordan. It'd be Jordan.
No, just Karl Malone.
Just Karl Malone coming into me.
Definitely top 3. At the least top 4. At the least in today's game.
Next player is Patrick Ewing. 1989
Ewing, and that was the beginning of peak Ewing. That was
this is when he could still move.
That was from 89.
Top 8.
I'd say top 7. Yeah, top 7, top 8. I can get with that.
But when I said SGA is better than Ewing, you disagreed. But now, anyway, Hakeem next, 89.
Oh,
top 3.
Ewing's a top 5. Not Ewing. I'm sorry. Jordan.
Oh, we adding everybody in there? Or
No, we're not.
The current players.
That's the mistake that Chill's making. You're not adding all of them at the same time. You're just saying just Hakeem coming into the league.
Is he the best player in the league?
Just the same Olajuwon who in just the same Olajuwon who in 89. He had almost 300 blocks and over 200 steals that season.
We got to talk about those numbers.
I think think he was averaging somewhere around 27 a game, 26 a game that year.
And what,
24.8. His averages were 24.8.
Or 25 a game.
12 rebounds,
So he was
2
25 and
assists,
12.
2 steals, and 2.7 blocks.
In today's game, Joker, Giannis.
Oh, wait. Yeah.
Joker,
3.5.
Giannis. To answer your question, Mars, Joker, Giannis.
Chill. Come on. This is not that hard, bro.
Well, this is 89. This is 89, Lajuan. This isn't.
Wait, I read his stats wrong. 24.8, 13.5 rebounds,
Yeah,
1.8 assists,
25 and 14.
1.8 assists, 2.6 steals, 3.4 blocks, and
Giannis is not Giannis. I'm sorry. Lajuan's a top 3 player in today's game.
okay. And then the last one is Charles Barkley. That's the last person who was above John Stockton.
In 1989, that's another guy who was also that was peak Charles Barkley. He's top 5. And I know where Mars is going with this too.
Well, I'm going with his super channel. This is none of my opinion.
Yeah, I think Barkley's the top 5 player in today's game.
Okay, so Magic Johnson, you said top 3. MJ number 1. Number 32, you said top 3, but you probably have him second, only behind Jokic. Wait, is he better than Jokic?
No.
Okay. You said Patrick Ewing. What did you say for Patrick Ewing?
He said top 7. I said top
7.
Top 7. You said Hakeem would be top 3, and you said Barkley would be top 5.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so of those 7 players, 6 of them would be top 5 players in today's game. So based on that, what he's saying is, I think John Stockton had more comp. I think based on just that. So yes, 1989 was more talented at the top than 2025.
Mark, did you know that in 89 Lajuan, and I know we don't like to bring in the accolade stuff because I'd much rather talk basketball, but did you know that Lajuan finished second in defensive player of the year that year? He made the all-league defensive team.
Well, that makes sense. That's sarcasm, by the way. So who made it?
Mark Eaton and Ewing.
So how does that make sense?
This the same Olajuwon, who again he had almost 300 blocks that year, over 200 steals. He finished right outside the top 5 in steals as a 5-man. I think he finished 3rd in the league, tied for 3rd in the league with Ewing in blocks. And he did make the all-league defensive team.
So he was the second best defender in the league, but the 3rd best defensive center.
That's what it sounded like.
And I didn't know this. The defensive player of the year votes, Mark Eaton won the award. He had 26 first place votes. Hakeem came second. He had 25. So he lost by 1 vote.
Do you know Eaton
to be the defensive player of the year, Mars? Yeah, not to make the all-league defensive team, to be the defensive player of the year.
Ewing had 2 votes.
He didn't make the all-league defensive
team. Hang on.
But Ewing made the all-league.
Different league, different rules, different everything. You're not having, I don't care. Victor Wembanyama is a better shot blocker than Mark Eaton ever was. Don't even come at me in the comments for that one. And Mark Eaton averaged 5.6 blocks the first time he won Defensive Player of the Year. I don't think anyone is going to average 5.6 blocks ever again.
That's 6 blocks a game.
Okay, but if Wemby
he was 7'5",
but if Wemby could camp his ass out in the paint all game long and just wait for guys who can't shoot, like the very fact that look, all these bigs, you want to talk about their blocks, you want to talk about their shot blocking, you want to talk about all that stuff, but realize where the shots were actually being taken back then. Yep. Teams weren't launching from 25, 26 feet, half the shots. Okay, we're moving towards a league increasingly where half the shots are going to be taken from 25 feet away. I don't give a shit if you're a big who can't average 4 blocks a game. Personally, it helps. Yeah. It's nice, but ain't no one doing Mark Eaton 84 again.
All right, so we have another super chat from the kid named Leaf Dig. Leaf Dig said, I did a video about Alexander Ovechkin or Alex O 895th goal and what it means. There's no fan base crazy enough to put him or Crosby over Gretzky. Wayne is still undisputed, but in the basketball world, everybody want to be different. WTF?
What's this going to do with the basketball world?
Wayne Gretzky's still the GOAT.
Greatness is
shout out Alex.
Apparently.
Shout out Alex Ovechkin.
Hey, I think greatness is respected in all sports. I just think people define it differently.
Would you agree or disagree with the fact that basketball conversation is more toxic than other sports conversation.
From what I see,
I've explained to y'all time and time again why it's the way it is. Basketball is a much more it's a much more accessible sport. More people play. Like I'm not saying more people around the world play basketball, but I'm saying is everybody that's talking about ball. A lot of people, we go to LA Fitness or go in the park, so a lot of us think like, oh, I can play ball, I'm the shit, so I know, you know what I'm saying? Like ain't nobody playing hockey, you know what I'm saying? Like I can just get up and go play the hockey, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of us can't just go play football. I'm talking about like American football, not soccer. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of us can't do that. So I think most of us resonate more with the ability to play basketball. And so since we play basketball so much, we think we know everything about hoop, or we want to put ourselves in a, you know what I'm saying? Like well, that's easy or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I think that's where it comes from.
But then wouldn't that also extend to soccer? Because soccer is
I wouldn't know.
Most accessible.
I wouldn't talk. I wouldn't talk.
Very, 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 very toxic sport to discuss.
Okay.
Is it? I've actually seen.
If you think LeBron versus Jordan is bad,
the Messi
versus Ronaldo. Oh my good.
Do y'all not remember what Mars said? He's better than Pele. Remember what Mars said? He's better than Pele.
Oh, but I am. But that's besides the point.
See what I'm talking about?
But like Messi versus Ronaldo is way more toxic than LeBron versus Jordan. And with all due respect, at least LeBron versus Jordan can be debated. Like at least you can make the argument.
Like Messi and
Ronaldo's not even a debate, and people still be debating it.
Who's better? Who's better?
Ronaldo.
Who's better?
Ronaldo.
Messi is like
so
clearly the GOAT. Like
Nado.
So
it's literally like it's not close. Like any measure you want to go down, it's very clearly Messi. But like people still debate that passionately. Like it's ridiculous.
Right.
I just want to know that. I just want to let Mars know that his name is fake
because of that.
I just wanted to let Mars know he need to change his profile picture in his emblem. He never talk about football or soccer. His straight basketball. That's all I'm saying. So take the soccer.
Yeah, like I was thinking about that, just changing the name to like
Mars Talk.
But nah, we good on Mars Talk Sports these days.
But there's potential to branch out to other things with sports, right? If ever
he
you
ain't
decide.
let's be real. He ain't branching out the nut.
Y'all wasn't
wait, hold on. There's still hope.
You see how casually he just laid out that
want me
Messi
to start talking about tennis, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
no, Mars, I'm trying to tell you, people want you to start talking about skydiving, whitewater rafting, right? Things like that, Mars. I'm telling you, we got to do it, brother. People want to see you. But look, that's what it is about basketball, y'all. That's just my take, and I think I'm 100% right about that. Everybody thinks their basketball knowledge is top tier because everybody plays basketball. And then don't got to be at a high level. We all go outside. We all grew up, except for maybe you, Mars, because you younger than us. But I don't know if y'all played a lot too. But we all played 21. Like 21 was that's how come I think our age group are so prolific in the ability to score. We used to be out there. We have 4. We're not playing 2s. We playing 21. It's 1 on 3. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that has a lot to do with the reason people just be saying so much outlandish shit about basketball. Because we all think we can
play a pickup football game.
Well, to your point, Ox,
pickup football game.
To your point, Ox, you know how like on the civics exam where you gotta ask the question, who was the first president of the United States? In order to pass the civics exam, you gotta answer who was the first president of the United States? George Washington. Okay, great. If you didn't play 21, you're not a basketball player. That's part of being a basketball player. You had to play 21.
Right. We had our hoop short. We had our hoop shorts on under our school uniforms. We ready to ball anytime. We playing 21.
And that's not just with your generation, Ox. That goes back to when I was a kid. If you didn't play 21.
When was that, Chill?
I skipped class every single
when you was
Friday.
A kid. When was that?
In the 80s.
Bro,
yes.
I skipped class every single Friday for 4 straight years. 4 straight years to go to the rec center so I can get 3 hours of shots up before we played pickup. I was
what you did all that for? Just for pickup?
You was practicing
because we were serious. And we tried to. I'm telling you, I look if my hoop shoes was in my locker, it's not a problem. I'll cook you in these forces. I got Vans on. I'll cook you in these. I'm not tripping. I'm playing basketball in Vans and Dickie shorts. You know what I'm saying? Like we definitely
I was doing that
anytime, anywhere, bro. So that's why I think it is like this.
We played King of the Court. So
growing up in the 80s.
So you lose, you're sitting for like 2
hours,
hours, yo. You understand that? Like the reason we wanted to practice was because if you lose, you're sitting for like 2 hours. right?
Yeah, but man, I wouldn't. I mean,
Rec Center closed
bro,
at
I ain't gotta
9.
do that for
You
3 hours.
you start your run at 4. You sit for 2 hours. You lose another game. You might play 2 games. We're not trying to play 2 games. We're trying to play 12 games.
Yeah, I'm Deboing somebody for their next, bro. You don't got next. I've been standing here this whole time. Move, bro. Watch out. Bro, you Debo somebody for their next. That's what it is. What it is, bro. He not playing. You trash. You're not playing.
Jordan literally, like, his team lose. He be on LeBron time with the decision. He'd be like, next team up. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard Robert Kelly used to do that. I heard Robert Kelly used to do that with his pickups in Chicago. He used to just be like, "Hey, they lost, but next team up. I'm just saying, bro. I'm not you getting Debo for your. I'm not waiting 30 games. I'm gonna just let you know.
That's the thing. I don't got a Debo nothing. I'm getting picked up.
And I'm getting picked up. I'm getting picked up.
Come on, y'all need one. Y'all need one. Yeah, they need one.
He's 6'9". I'm 5'11". I ain't getting picked.
I ain't trying to big time nobody, but at the park, I was one of the dudes that they would say.
They know who I am. I'm getting picked up.
Bro, first of all, I had next while I was playing.
You guys are tough now. Okay.
No, I was next while I was playing. I'm playing right now, but we're gonna lose, and I'm next.
I'm not trying to big time nobody, Moss, but at the park, I was one of those guys that they would save a spot for. I was.
You ever play at the Rucker?
So was I, but you don't see me.
They say they got
Rucker.
I had to, yes. My freshman year of college in the summer of 1992, I played in the Rucker.
Freshman year in college, 1992.
Yes,
bro,
sir.
that was the vibe, yo.
Oh, 15 years before I was even a thought. This man was freshman in college.
All I'm saying is Mars told me he could shoot. I said, Mars, I'm gonna show you how to shoot. I know how to shoot. And then I said, shoot it. Hey, airball.
Hey, let's have context. Hey,
it was night outside.
I seen you, Abel, but also, was it not right online? It was right.
It was right online. It was right online. Hold on. Before I concede and you see me airball, when you see me airball?
If I wanted to make it, I could have. I just left it short to be like,
Jordan, when we see you airball?
Oh, hold on. That's crazy, Ron.
He didn't get his legs.
Dave wrong for that. Dave wrong for that. The wind definitely took it.
Nah, Dave plugged y'all because he could have dropped the whole thing, the whole 10 minutes before that when I was shooting you around socks off when them young dudes was behind us going crazy.
When was that?
He could have dropped that.
That was going on.
Nah, Ox was dropping them joints, but I will say though, Dave sold me on that one because that was crazy. That was crazy, bro. And it was, first of all, it was a little chilly outside. Now just add that in context too. It was a little chilly. You know,
that's that Bay Breeze.
That's that Bay Breeze. That's what happened. I didn't just brick like that. That was that Bay Breeze, bro. Bro, I almost broke the window though when you look at it on the video.
But all right, y'all. In case you guys do want to see high-level basketball talk with high-level basketball minds, pull up this Thursday to the PCL Final Four, and then there was 4. You know, we started off with 32 contestants, and now it's trickled its way all the way down to 4 contestants. And we have Chill vs. Real Talk at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And right after that, we got Mars versus Jordan at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. It's going to be a good one. Y'all get in early. And as if this isn't enough, if you can't wait till Thursday to listen to high-level basketball talk, then tap into From the Logo today at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. They will be talking about the real contenders and the real pretenders. Go check out Gifted, ZZ, Hayes, and the GOAT Bama over there as well. And as if this isn't enough hoop talk for this week, well, high-level hoop talk, that is, then you can watch a real basketball knower debate against a nigga whose IQ is kind of questionable. Episode 7 of the parlay is Caitlin Clark, the GOAT. Y'all gotta pull up and really see what was being said to really.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, I remember this one. I'm not gonna say
when does that drop?
All I know, someone got
page.
So that's all I know. Someone
got cooked, huh?
Someone got
when does that one drop?
Saturday.
I didn't hear. Saturday? Okay.
It's Saturday. Y'all pull up.
Mods, that's really vague. Like someone could be anybody. Can you be more specific? When you
let me
rephrase that, Mods. Let me rephrase that, Mods. Is it someone in here?
They may be in here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is it somebody in here?
Someone got
Is it a bigger guy or a smaller guy that got cooked?
I don't want to give too much information. Go watch it on Saturday, but you'll see someone.
Y'all gotta tap in and see who really got cooked. But
and by the way, Ox, don't think for 1 second that we wasn't at the park and you wasn't getting picked before me, because you was. So stop acting like that.
Damn.
You was definitely.
I'm getting picked first all the time.
You was definitely getting picked before me.
100%. I know I'm getting picked.
They were saving spots for me, but you was definitely getting picked before me.
Yeah. Wouldn't be my first pick, but you know.
That's why you'll lose, Morris.
See, that's why.
I'm a winner. I don't know what to tell you. I'm a winner.
That's exactly why we losing.
All right, fellas.
What the hell is that?
I want to talk about the NCAA championship last night. We had the Florida Gators beat the Houston
Cougars.
Damn, that last shot.
Yeah, why ain't I ain't watched the game? Why ain't whoever shoot the ball? Why he ain't shoot?
Because he thought he was gonna get it blocked.
Yeah, that's why.
He thought he was gonna get it blocked. It was a good closeout. It was a good closeout.
What?
He probably should just pump fake. Nah, I mean, he you got to realize the type of player Sharp is. Like Sharp pump fakes and then he get to a shot. I think he probably should have just pump faked, but he didn't. You know, it just one of them second guessing. And Mars, I'm getting ready for you. And if you can guess who that is, that's on you.
That?
I want his heart. I want to eat his kids.
I thought it was Mike Tyson. Yeah,
that's who that is. Who that is? I'm getting ready.
You said he the most overrated boxer of all time. So you overrated? I mean, I agree,
he is the most overrated boxer of all time. But people still scared of him. People still scared of him.
Wait a second. How was he overrated?
We don't need to get into that. All I know, Jordan has called him the most overrated boxer of all time, and he's calling himself Mike Tyson. So we're on the same page, Jordan.
Hey, eat his kids is crazy. Yeah,
you're at a level that you shouldn't be. You've made it to the Final Four. Congratulations. You shouldn't be here, but congratulations.
You hear this slander about me? I'm gonna take the high road on this. I'm gonna take the high road. I know the direction that Mars trying to go, but I'm gonna go to the high road, bro.
I'm going the same direction I've gone the whole time.
It's against me. I didn't prevail. Mike Tyson is one of the most overrated boxers of all time. But one of the most motivational speeches of all time. I'm listening to his motivation.
I predicted y'all. Did I not?
What, me and Jordan?
I told you. You picked against in the first round.
Okay, so you got. I mean, half of that was a difficult prediction. Getting Jordan right was cool. That's credit to you. Getting me, like everyone wrote me into the semifinal. Like everyone wrote me into.
With the matchup you had, went hard.
Cool. Call it what you want. Everyone wrote me into the finals before the brackets was determined. Everyone's like, okay, who's Mars gonna go against the finals? So guessing me right is like, okay.
I had you and Jordan in your.
Oh my god, I had the 2017 Warriors in the conference finals. Ooh,
yeah.
Okay. He was meant to.
2017 Warriors, relax.
Everyone knew that. Oh my god, I had the Bill Russell Celtics go into the finals.
You like 2013 Warriors.
It is what it is. But I just hope you're ready. I hope you're ready. It is what it is.
I don't want to get off. I don't want to get off.
I'm actually not preparing for you, Jordan.
Damn.
But you can take that as an insult if you want. I'm actually not preparing.
You know what this sound like? This sound like Larry Brown. It sound like Larry Brown in 2013 when the Charlotte Hornets played Miami. You know they didn't practice against us today, right? You know that.
You know what though? Mars trying to use reverse psychology, but I'm not.
That's not reverse psychology.
I know my topic. No, if you want to take it as disrespect that I'm not preparing for you, that's fine. What I mean is, I just think a debate against John D requires preparation because we're both gonna talk and decide who can make the bad points. With you, it's probably gonna go down a rabbit hole where it's like, I can't really prepare for what you're going to say. I have to think of it on the spot. So I'm not preparing. I'm not going to waste time preparing for you when you're going to I have to be ready to counter you in the moment. It's not going to be, I have these points that I'm ready to get off no matter what. It's like, I'm going to listen to what you say. Whatever you say, I'm going to try and counter it. That's what I'm going to do. So if you take it as insult, I'm not preparing for you. That's fine. But I'm not preparing for you. So if I lose, I lose. If I win, I win. I'm not going to say I lost, but I didn't prepare. If I lose, I just lose because of politics. But like, if I win,
because of politics.
We'll see. We will see.
Now, to answer your question, Ron, I can't stand when I watch teams put teams in the chokehold and not choke them out. Houston really thought Florida was going away. And that's what boils me about these teams in championship games. Not once, Ron, twice. They went on 8-0 runs. That second 8-0 run they went on, they thought that was it. They thought Florida was going to fold up. And it was about 7.5 minutes left in the second half. They stopped going to the offensive glass. They weren't coming off screens nearly as hard. They didn't take care of the basketball like they should have. That was the point in the game where I felt like they could have broken Florida, but they let them off the hook. and they let Florida get back in the game. And once Florida got back in the game and we had a 2-possession game with about 5 minutes left, I was like, Florida's going to beat these dudes. Florida's going to beat them.
I started feeling the shift around maybe the 10-minute mark of the second half.
Yep.
When it got closer and closer, and I'm like, you know what? Walter Clayton has not had a good game.
Nope.
And they're in like a 3-possession game here. This is not a recipe for success for the Houston Cougars. Now, obviously, if you come into this game, you're thinking for Kelvin Sampson's team to have a chance in this game, they're going to have to muck this up, and they're going to have to keep it under 70.
Why are you talking about a chance in this game? Like, U of H belonged in the game. Like, it was going to be a tough game.
Look,
regardless.
okay,
like,
Jordan, I don't mean to get
I don't know why y'all trying to do that with U of H, like as if they didn't belong there.
I understand you're from Houston. I understand that.
Second time in 3 years.
If we're being
they've been to the Final Four like 4 times.
Yeah, that was with Jamal Shed. This is a completely different situation. Number one. Number two, I want to say this very respectfully. Duke lost that game as much as y'all won that game. And
totally fine. It's part of basketball.
Okay.
But
33 seconds, 9 points.
Yes, but if you're gonna say that,
what the hell?
First of all, if you're gonna say that, I will say my counter to that would be you do know that U of H beat Kansas the exact same way.
Jordan.
Like they have a history of doing that.
Jordan, tell me what y'all did to make Duke miss free throws.
No, it's not about them missing free throws. What about them turning the ball over on the inbound? They couldn't inbound the basketball. What about that?
Jordan, y'all played the same defense up against Florida, and they could inbound the basketball. What does that tell you? Does that say that Duke is bad at inbounding the damn basketball? They hadn't worked on their special plays.
First of all, no. First of all, Florida had a hard time inbounding. Let's be clear. Walter Clayton hit a tough shot, which got him going. He was struggling from the field. He hit some tough shots that got him going. That's a part of basketball. Good players gonna make their plays. But y'all trying to act like U of H didn't belong. That means you didn't watch U of H all season. All season long, U of H been dogging people like that. Like I'm telling you,
I didn't say they didn't belong. I'm simply telling you that they shouldn't have been in the finals. If Duke took care of business, they wouldn't have been there.
Here's the difference with that. But here's the difference with
if
that.
If every team took care of business, they would.
Yeah, but here's the difference with that though, Penn. You just brought up Florida. You brought up Florida being able to inbound the ball. That's a completely different team than Duke. Number one, those are adults over there. Those was kids at Duke. And they showed at the end of the game when they couldn't hold it together. That Florida team got a bunch of adults over there, a bunch of kids on that Duke team where Cooper Flagg, as good as he is, put your head down and go to the basket. Well, he's not thinking that because he's a senior in high school. Yeah. Shed, if he was on that Houston team years ago, he would go to the basket.
He didn't get to the national championship. So I mean,
hang on, he got hurt last year. They had a better squad last year. Let's be real. First of all, they did have a better team last year.
They did.
He got hurt, and then they went out against Duke. That's different, though. This year they were healthy, and look, all I'm saying is,
Jared McCain had a hell of a game.
A win is a win is a win. I get that. Okay, I'm gonna say that 100%. If you win a basketball game, you deserve to win the basketball game. It's cool, right? But there's a difference between I manhandle you, I beat you on the glass, I beat you, I out execute you, I outshoot you, I have a better offensive game plan than you, and then I beat you. Versus you beating me for 38 to 39 minutes of a game, and then I completely just lose my mind for the last 6 minutes.
They didn't lose their mind.
They did.
What? No, they did not lose their mind. What happened was U of H offense picked up. That was their problem in the first half against Duke. U of H offense wasn't very good. Then in the second half, they just started
for 10 minutes, Jordan. They didn't score a field goal for 10 minutes.
But
you think
also
that's just defense?
First of all, listen. For U of H offense to be trash like it was in the first half, it was like a 6-point game. So for you to say what you're saying, you're being disingenuous because you're not telling the whole story about how bad U of H offense was, and it was a 6-point game going into the first half. So in the second half, when Cryer started cooking, he started making threes that he wasn't even taking in the first half. That's when the game got close. Then it's not hard to beat Duke. It's not hard to beat Duke if you have the It's not hard to beat them if you have the personnel. I've seen Duke go in a tight game with, I think they were playing Georgia Tech, and they were in a tight game with, Wake Forest. They were in a tight game with them. Like I seen them do that. So I don't know, you're trying to make it seem
3 months.
Yes, but they were in a tight game against Wake Forest. You're trying to make it seem like Duke, like Duke was like, oh, it's so unbeatable. It's like, bro, just
was it a foul on Cooper Flagg? Be for real.
Honestly, it was over the back. I knew it was over the back when he first called it. It was over the back.
Oh
now, they did let those go. That definitely is over the back. If I'm boxing out and the ball drops in front of me and you reach your hand over, that is technical over the back.
But
that
if I don't,
over the back.
But if I don't but if I don't throw you off balance, it's not over the back, which he didn't.
He reached. I'm boxing out. If you reach your hand over, that's over the back. That's literally over the back. You can't get the ball, so you're trying to reach over. That's literally over the back. That's definitely over the back.
If we're keeping it a buck, if that foul on Cooper Flag is a foul, then your entire team fouled out 6 times in this game. The way Houston
totally
plays
fine.
defense,
They didn't call it. They called some questionable stuff for Cooper Flag too. Bro, you cannot blame that foul the reason why Duke lost. You cannot blame that. Blame not being able to inbound the basketball. Blame that. Which, if there was a stat for it, I'm pretty sure y'all can find a stat. U of H does a really good job of stopping people from doing that. They done it all year. Florida had issues too. It's just that Florida just managed to make big shots when it mattered. That's all they did. They made big shots when it mattered. But for y'all to try to act like U of H didn't belong because Duke was supposed to beat it, Florida probably would have beat Duke by 15. To be honest with you, they probably would have beat Duke by 15. So it's just I just don't like how y'all trying to do that.
A lot of
no, we're not trying to do that. I'm not trying to do
Duke. And I just want to say that Kaman Malawach performance was unlike any performance.
The Nuggets fired Mike Malone.
So I don't get what these people just been doing.
What are you talking about, Mars?
The Nuggets just fired Mike Malone, so I think
it's not April Fool's Day anymore.
What?
No, he's not joking.
No, you're lying.
So the Nuggets just fired Mike Malone. So
Mars, stop.
Bro, hold on. Let me go to ESPN. What the hell are you talking about?
Ain't nothing going on.
He wouldn't lie about this. He's saying it straight, and I'm gullible as hell, so I don't believe in him.
Oh, but Pin, you said it like he's not lying, like you've seen some facts. Like Mars, that's
the Nuggets Michael Malone. So can we talk about the Nuggets, please?
He's not lying. It's via Shams. He's been fired.
See?
Yeah.
Appreciate disrespect to my name.
Swiper.
The playoffs about to start in 3 days.
They lost 4 straight games.
Trends. I hate that the NBA is a copycat league because they see one team do it. It's acceptable we do it. Bro, these are the worst general managers they may have had of all time. Worst ownership groups that they may have had of all time, bro. This is horrible, bro.
I'm not believing it until you pull something up, bro.
Yo, swipe.
You want me to put it on the screen?
Pull up.
Please, Mars, please put it on the screen. I need to
know. Swiper probably in this
paging Swiper crying right now.
This is going on. Look,
you might want to change the title.
This is going on.
The playoffs start in 2 hours.
This is going on.
There you go. For anyone who hasn't seen, there you go. Courtesy
this is going on. What is
ridiculous? Ridiculous.
Yo, this is insane. Wait a second. Yo, hold on. Chill. Mike Malone coming back home. What,
to the Kings?
Yeah, yeah. Come on home, Mike. Come on home. We should have never.
I told y'all the boys was cooked, and they knew it.
They are cooked.
This is not happening.
So they're gonna have what? David Adelman, I think his name is. Step up, I assume. I think he's their lead assistant. So probably.
Come on home, Mike.
Is that Mike Adelman's son?
Yeah, that's Rick Adelman's son.
That's Rick Adelman's son.
Rick Adelman's son.
Rick Adelman used to go to
they've been high on him for the longest because he came from the G League and all that stuff. But bro, that's just bad coaching, bro. I mean, not bad coaching. That's just bad general managing. That's what that is.
Calvin Booth needed a scapegoat, man, because he did a poor job of the roster. Michael Malone not maximizing it, so you're gonna fire him.
Let's just watch.
I think that's a bad decision. If I'm being honest,
how soon before we call this a Russell Westbrook problem?
Oh my god!
I'm not about to say Russell Westbrook.
Oh my gosh!
Russ got Mike Malone fired. I tried to tell y'all about Russ.
For anyone wondering, Swiper is yet to tweet. I'm refreshing.
He just texted me not too long ago, so
I'm refreshing like his Twitter like every 2 seconds. I'm waiting for it.
It's gonna be something unbelievable when he say it though.
Yeah, Jokic, a coach killer, man. I don't know what to say. But I think it's a bad decision. I don't know the justification for it. I know they've lost their 4 straight.
Yes.
I think I've seen something, and I don't know how true it was, but it might be relevant. I read something that Michael Malone was talking about how guys aren't watching film on the Nuggets.
Yep.
So maybe something about him losing the locker room and they're not listening to him. Maybe like that might be why they fired him.
I mean, he's been their coach.
But I have a hard time. I have a hard time knowing the reason, and I don't want to project.
He's been there almost 10 years, and when
like you got like it's gonna
when
happen.
you've been there,
He had the longest tenure of any coach not named Steve Kerr.
And Jordan, you're a coach. You can appreciate this. Like when you're in a specific place for so long, at some point, like that voice, it starts. Like players start to tune it out.
100%. It happened to me at practice the other day, and I ran the shit out of him for like 40 minutes straight.
Y'all ain't listening. Get your ass on the line.
Let's stop talking. Let me show you what I'm about.
But to Mars's point, Mars, whenever I see stuff like this, it suggests to me that this didn't come out of nowhere. I think Mike Malone, and we didn't know it, was on the hot seat. There was
you see that clip of Jokic reacting on the bench, and he's really upset with Aaron Gordon over something. It's really interesting.
Hang on, right?
Part of a team, though.
No. Hang on, guys. Two clips, right? Two clips that went kind of viral. One, Jokic, right? Kind of just upset talking to Darius Saric on the bench. He's really upset about something over that breakdown with Aaron Gordon. Then we had the Aaron Gordon versus Peyton Watson shit on the bench. That's another clip that went viral. A few weeks ago, we had a little clip of Desmond Bane shoving Santi Aldama.
Mm-hmm.
Both coaches got fired.
So the league is
ergo. I think when the noise gets super loud after these, like, oh, is this team dysfunctional? They're falling apart. It's either the cart or the horse thing. So it's either the locker room has fallen apart, and this is this is just us seeing it. But this is what we're seeing at a game.
Yeah,
right?
but
hang on. Because to me, this is like the iceberg theory, right? It's like what you see at a game, the bad body language, the finger pointing, the guys not talking to each other. I always think that's like the hallmark of a good team. And the reason I said that I was vibing with the Clippers is because they have that connected energy, right?
Right.
And like when you miss a shot, all I need to know about whether you're going to win that game, like if you miss a game win and you go to overtime, all I need to know if you have a chance in overtime is, are your teammates putting their arm around you saying we get them an OT, or are they kind of just walking away from you like you just messed up? So
yeah, but I don't know, Penn. I feel like we are over. Like, if that's the reason why he got fired, like you brought up a great point that the last few firings happened with something like that. Even with the Kings going through what they went through with De'Aaron Fox. My thing is, this is what happens with a team. It's not kumbaya in the locker room with a good team. I've been on a championship team. I'm telling you, kumbaya in the locker room is probably the worst thing that could happen for a team. You need rah-rah. You need back and forths. You need that because at the end of the day, that builds adversity. That builds trust. If everybody's kumbaya, blah, 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 that's not no trust. That's not.
Swiper has tweeted.
Okay, I know we was on Swiper watch, but
all he has said is this is completely and utterly BS. That's the only tweet we've got so far. But
yeah, but and I agree with him. And I agree with him because of the simple fact that like players fight. Players have disagreements. It's about how you bounce back. Like for you to fire somebody 3 games left before the playoffs. Bro, let me finish out my tenure. Let's have the conversation in the war room like they do about everything in the offseason for 2.5 hours. Let's put everything on the table and say Mike Malone being fired is completely garbage. You're talking about one of the better coaches in the NBA.
To be honest with you, Jordan,
two different things. Though.
Right, we are. But I'm sorry, Penn. It sounds to me like they've already given up on what they're doing. That's what it sounds like.
Exactly, Chill. And that's ridiculous.
It sounds like
bad for the fan base.
It sounds like they've given up on what they're doing. They're not even going to see the rest of the season out. They don't think that they're going to win the NBA championship. So they're figuring, let's just get rid of him now. Whatever we're going to do in the offseason, we'll deal with that in the offseason. But let's start with this right here. And we're just going to watch with this. We're going to watch this season. But if that
I would fire the GM.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking if that's the case, you already felt like this about Mike. You already felt like this about Mike Malone earlier in the season. This isn't something that just came about, right? I don't think this is something that just came about. So why are we waiting for the end of the season if you didn't think that you were going to win it anyway? Because that's why you got Joker. That's why you re-signed Jamal Murray.
GM.
Right. That's why you re-signed Jamal Murray. That's why you re-signed not just Jamal Murray. That's why you re-signed Aaron Gordon. That's why you re-signed all of these guys. I think 4 of those guys are on the books long term. You brought Russell Westbrook in because you thought that you could win it. If you didn't think that you could win it at some point during the season, and Mike Malone was the problem, he should have already been gone.
This
scrap
is
the
a
season,
recipe for disaster, Chill.
It is to scrap
Because
the season at this point of the year. That's just bad.
This is a copycat league. It all started with what's his name getting fired in Milwaukee before Doc got there. That's when this crap started. You start firing
Adrian Griffin.
Adrian Griffin.
Sorry, Adrian Griffin.
Yes, because you fire somebody when they're having success, you fired them. Then you fire somebody 3 games before the
They
playoffs.
fired Calvin Booth. They fired Calvin Booth too.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I was about to say they got to get Calvin Booth out of there because that is bad ownership. This got to be like this is horrible, and this is why certain people.
Wow.
This is why certain people don't need to be around certain basketball decisions because this is a bad deal.
Wait a minute though, Jordan, because if you firing the coach and the GM, this is a money issue. That's what this is.
No, it's not.
Right
No,
now,
this is
we can't
What happened was
we can't deal with money issues the day before the
Jokic
playoffs.
stormed
Can't
into
do
the
that.
owner's office with his brothers by his sides.
I disagree.
now.
Get these
I don't
guys
think
out.
it's happening. I
Come on
disagree.
now.
It's happening.
But look,
I
so
disagree with
I'm
this
I'm curious to know too though for guys like, for instance, Russell Westbrook, a guy who is an all-time great point guard. You know what I'm saying? A guy who's in the twilight of his career, a guy who doesn't have too much time left, right? I can't say specifically how long. That's not for me to say. But a guy that came through to Denver, he's playing his heart out. You know what I'm saying? I think he had a good season or is having a good season. You know, some ups and downs, but that's typical, right? And you fire the coach right now. It's kind of like how is Russ feeling? Like, damn, like what are we doing here? And I'm sure they didn't do this without letting Jokic know. I'm not gonna say Jokic is responsible for this. I'm just saying like this is kind of crazy to me. This is way crazier than what Memphis just did. This season the playoffs start
next weekend.
Yesterday.
Next weekend.
You know what I'm saying?
Next
like,
weekend.
What's going on?
What are we doing?
Hang on. They didn't hire you as a coach. They didn't hire Chill as a coach. They just promoted their assistant coach. So look,
yeah,
that's gonna piss a lot of people off.
There.
That's still crazy. Pin. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who they hire as the coach. You fire the GM, you fire the head coach. I don't care who you hire.
Disarray.
You know what I'm saying? The playoffs start tomorrow.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate on this and just say, look, from the perspective of firing your GM, that's nuts to me. I would have fired the coach and then waited till the offseason to fire the GM. But cool. I think if I'm a Denver Nuggets player, this is like, whoa. What we've been doing, just like this can't happen because our coach and our GM just got fired. Now, this is either going to completely derail whatever chance they had, or it's going to pull them all together and say, okay, if what we've been doing resulted in this, then we got to go do something else. It's going to provoke.
They can't like this.
Look, Ox, I'm sure you've been on some teams where the vibes are just off for a while and conversations stop. Right? Has that happened?
Yeah, but this is I can't relate to something like this. This is an 82 game NBA season. This is ridiculous. There's nothing I can't relate to.
And you ain't all. And by the way, Ox, I want you to keep going, Ox. But you're not garbage neither. We're in the top 5 in the league. We're in the top 5 in the Western Conference. It ain't like we trash and we seen this coming.
If Mike Budenholzer got fired today, well, all right, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But Mike Malone getting fired today is ridiculous.
Plus the GM. Plus the GM.
Plus the GM.
Yeah, he probably deserves it to be.
But why
this team still has championship action. This team has championship action. Well, they had championship action until 30 minutes ago. They have no more championship action at all.
I disagree. Who is this impacting? This impacts the players.
Everybody.
David Adelman.
The players got to go out. The players got to go out and play on the court. That's who's going to determine who gets through the playoffs. Okay, coaches ain't doing it. GMs ain't doing it. Last I checked, they don't suit up. So if those players,
okay, so then what's the point, man? What's the point? If coaches don't impact anything, then what's the point?
I'm not saying
why have a coach then?
Hang on, Ox. I didn't say coaches don't impact anything. I'm saying the players got to play, and if these players ain't playing right with this coach and this GM, and I know that there ain't no way that Nuggets ownership made this move without at least checking in with their star player, right? Getting a vibe for would they even accept this? Because ain't no way that 13, 14 of those guys are rocking with Coach Malone and they're just like, nah, we're firing him anyway. Go play for somebody else. They must have understood implicitly that there was a relationship that this assistant coach had with his players that allowed them to make this move. And they just had to clean house. Look, I'm just saying don't sell this entire thing short just because they're making a change. And again, it's like we have a tendency to judge anything that is unprecedented as it can't work. Okay. And I understand this is not optimal timing to have a new system or try to implement something new. But the Nuggets system is Jokic. He is their system. Ain't no
you literally can't.
You're not having a new coach come in and fundamentally change anything.
You can't.
Yeah, but Mike Malone is the voice of reason for everybody.
Through the playoffs, they have. You have to win 16 games. You can't implement like a new coach can't just come in and be like, okay, guys, we're doing this. And I understand what you said with Jokic being the system. They're gonna have to. Jokic is already the system for sure, but they're gonna have to rely on Nikola Jokic 100% now because they can't just implement something with 2 days left.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? They got championship. They had
David
in the world who's changing things with 2 days left.
That's why I was going with this, Mars. Just you've been on teams because I know I've been on teams where the assistant coach he runs practice. The assistant coach is the guy that we gravitate toward. So I'm confident that there could be rumblings within that Denver group. Maybe you should be running things around here. Maybe you should be. Maybe you should be. Because let's not forget. In 2015, did we not see David Black get fired for Ty Lue? That was
right. They won.
Right.
That was
so look.
That was halfway through the season, though.
Right. It was halfway through the season, but it was something that was brewing.
That wasn't the day before. That wasn't the day before the playoffs started, right? Right. So on top of that, you hear that a lot, right? You hear that a lot. There's a reason players are players, right? You play just because you're more comfortable with what this assistant coach says to you does not mean that this assistant coach should be running the show. There's a reason why Mike Malone is the head coach. There's a reason why he's the head of this. There's a reason why he's delegating to his assistants, his scouts, his training staff. He's delegating. Assistant coach, it's easy for me. It's easy for me to look like I know what I'm doing and I'm running the show because the consequences don't fall on my shoulders. So sometimes when you promote the assistant to do that, all of a sudden they're running the show and everybody realizes why you were an assistant. No, I'm not saying Adelman's not a good coach. I'm not saying he can't do that. What I'm saying is there are reasons for things. There are reasons why it looks better than it is until you're the one that has to do the delegating. Until you're the one that has to call the shots, then all of a sudden everybody's like, well, shit, I get it now. Damn, bring coach back.
Hey, my best friend.
I blame this. That's how they felt about Steven Silas.
It's easy to hate the leader, Chill. It's easy to hate the leader because the leader is the one that has to discipline everybody. The leader is the one that has to call everybody out. The leader is the one that has to hold everybody accountable. Now, 100%. If you're not the leader, you don't understand that heavy is the head that wears the crown. Sure. You know what I'm saying? So it's different. Once you're in that position, everybody shit changes.
And that part I won't argue because my best friend coached college basketball and he said to me he got the head coaching job at a Division II school. He told me, he was like, Jay, that moving over one seat or the temperature went up substantially. Just moving over one seat. But with that also being said, to counter your point, Ox, we get in, especially when you got a coach like Mike Malone who's been around for as long as he's been around, continuously listening to the same thing. That stuff can fall on deaf ears. But when you got a new guy in Adelman who's saying something different, you start listening to this more often. One guy, two guys, 3, 4 guys. They start to get on board more with this. Now, I understand your point about how difficult it is to go from the assistant to the head coach. But with that being said, these guys buy into what you're doing because let's be clear, Ox, I am running practice, right? I am drawing up plays. It's not like Mike Malone isn't drawing up. It's not like Mike Malone is the only one in here drawing up plays. It's not like Mike Malone is the only one running practice. I'm running practice too. I'm drawing up plays. These guys listen to me too. So because that's why there's the rumblings that, maybe you should be running things instead of him. Maybe you should be our coach instead of him. For that specific reason.
We don't know if that's what's really happening. We don't know if there are rumblings.
I think that's what was going on, Ox, if I'm being honest with you. I do.
And that's fair for you to think that. I
think that's a combination of things of one, that voice. I mean, to Mars's point, he's got the longest tenure. Nobody else is in the league with
Steve Kerr. Popspo and Steve Kerr, I think, are the only ones who have been there.
That's it. So, when you hear that kind of voice consistently, I'm pretty sure that there's guys on that team. I was like, yo, maybe important guys on that crew. It's not like it's the 12th or the 13th guy, the developmental guy. No, it's better players on that crew. Like, maybe you should be running things around here instead of this guy. So,
and they don't know what they're talking about. Just because they're comfortable, just because the plays that he draws up ends with you shooting the ball. Now you want him to run the show. That shit is sick. It's toxic.
From listening to their post game interviews, I do think Michael Malone wasn't getting the players buy-in to what he was saying. Like every game they were losing, whatever, he was basically saying the same things, that we need to compete on defense. He's been trying to get them to compete on defense. He doesn't know what more he can do to get them to do what they need to do on defense. The effort is half-hearted. We only get effort for 2 quarters. Like he was saying the same things over and over again throughout the season. Then I said the thing about how guys apparently aren't watching film. Like it might just be the point where guys just weren't listening to him anymore.
Yeah,
and sometimes that just happens.
It happens though. Yep.
Yeah, sometimes that just happens. But I feel like the regular season ends on Sunday. I think the Nuggets have 3 games left. I think they're 48 and 30. 3-4 games left. Like it's horrible timing. I think Calvin Booth makes sense. Like he's done a horrible.
But that's even still horrible timing because it's like
I agree.
You got to remember Calvin Booth. Calvin Booth got a lot of those players there. Like it's just a bad decision. I would assume they made it. I would assume they made it from the ownership group, but it's like there's just a bad decision because now, do you know how massively that could affect what Jokic does too? Like why? Like why do this in the middle of the season? I mean, not the middle of the season, literally the end of the season before.
Regular season's over on Sunday, Jordan.
Like you're playing with Jokic's legacy because we know these things messes up his legacy. But like I just think that's a bad decision. Like that is like now. You got to watch out for what Jokic's gonna do. I don't know if Jokic stay in Denver now. I don't think so.
I was thinking the same thing because if they made this move without his blessing, him and Coach Malone go way back. They have really deep bond. Right.
Yeah,
and
that's his only head coach.
That's exactly it. Malone spent an entire summer with him in Serbia, getting to know his family, and that relationship has been at the crux of the Denver Nuggets' success over the last 6-7 years. It makes me think, if ownership went over Jokic's head to make this move, because I just can't see Jokic giving up on his coach like this. It feels wrong.
So
he's a very loyal guy. He's extremely loyal. And throughout league history, you ain't never heard of a European player getting his coach fired. You ain't never heard of that. You have
every Johnson
got 2 more years on the books.
So all I'm saying is that there is a coach that Jokic really does like in the NBA.
Fellas,
to your point, I know we got to run really quickly. So Penn, he's got 2 more years left on the books, and he's got a player op in 27. So he's got 2 more years.
But that means nothing anymore, Cho, because like it's De'Aaron Fox had time left on his clock. They still had to trade him, right?
Like, he only had one. De'Aaron only had one.
He had a year and a half, Ox. He had next year.
Yeah, I'm talking about next year.
That's what I'm saying. Like these players can push themselves away sooner. Right, Kawhi started asking out a year and a half before he was set to hit free agency with the Spurs. So the player empowerment movement, players like y'all realize there was a time in NBA history where there was no free agency. Y'all realize Magic Johnson, that 25-year deal that he signed, it's got like these deals got longer and longer, but now these deals are shorter and they're very expensive. And this player can simply say, trade me or I'm not going to resign. And now you're just holding an asset that is basically everybody knows he's not coming back. He's not happy. You're not winning with a superstar who wants out. So at the end of the day, you're forced to trade that player. And if Jokic asks out this summer, they'll be forced to trade him.
Fellas,
hey, we'll take him in Houston.
We never talked about potentially why. We never talked about chill. That was wild. But we never talked about potentially why Taylor Jenkins got fired. Was there a reasoning? Did they come out with something?
Not that I've seen.
So we know Taylor got fired, and we don't know why. Now, Mike Malone,
you would have counted both these guys as 2 of the top 10 coaches in the league.
That's a fact. I mean, just look at their records. 100%. Just look at their records.
I mean, it goes without saying, Michael Malone is the Nuggets' greatest ever head coach.
Right.
And they fired him.
Respect Doug Moe, but keep going.
Respect George Karl.
Mr. Run and Gun Merchant, Doug Moe.
Respect George Karl, Mars. George Karl's guy.
His players don't even respect him. What do you mean?
He was making good decisions. That's why he was making good decisions.
Respect George Karl, bro. I don't care about no books. I don't care about no posse talk or whatever. respect George Karl on that
That's
side.
cool. That's cool. Michael Malone is the Nuggets' most accomplished head coach. I'll say that.
Fair
That's
enough.
fine.
Fair
Most
enough.
accomplished head coach.
That's fine.
And they fired him. What? How long will we removed from their championship? June 2023 to April 2025. What is that, about 22 months?
Yeah,
So
barely
22 months removed from a championship.
And not even 2 years. Not even 2 years. You could be.
Yeah, I see why you packed Mike up because Mike don't know what he talking about.
Mhm.
That's number one.
What's
Talking
Mike
about,
saying?
talking about George Karl wasn't a good coach. Come on, bro. You out your mind, bro. It's a reason why he top 10 and wins, bro. It's a reason why, bro.
You can't be thugging in the locker room. You can't be thugging in the locker room and then be upset when you get called out for thugging in the locker room. That's all I'm saying.
George Karl was doing what he was doing, bro. George Karl was winning games, bro.
Yeah, y'all. It's going to be a lot of speculation between Mike Malone and why he got fired. I'm still curious as to why Taylor Jenkins got fired. So this is it's just the timing with everything. It's like how Jordan said, 4 games left in the season. If it's this bad, why not just wait till the
let's talk it out. Let's talk it out.
But that's also the thing.
Season,
if it's this bad, or if it's that bad, then that's why they would do it today. But it's like, what could it be for them to fire them today and not wait 3 more weeks?
That's like divorcing you. That's like breaking up with your girl right before the wedding day. Like, yeah, you know what? Let's break up. It's out of here. We out. Move out today. It is what it is. Like that's what they just.
You knew you didn't want to marry her though, Jordan. That's the difference. You knew you didn't want to marry her though.
Yeah, but it's like,
or you met somebody at the bachelor party.
They met somebody better. Yeah, no. Instead of marrying a girl, he went and married his best friend because she been on the side the whole time. That's why.
Wait, you talking about loving basketball?
Yeah, loving basketball. That's pretty much what just happened. They just have with loving basketball.
All right, so we got a lot of super chats, and a lot of people want us to talk about this Mike Malone firing, amongst other things. So let's get into it. Shout out to everybody that's in here. We got damn near 3,000 people in here to talk about this Mike Malone firing because this is obviously massive going into the playoffs, especially for somebody who potentially is the league MVP this year, and if not, potentially the best player in the NBA. So this means a lot right now, fellas. So let's get into some of these super chats. Drink More Water said, with Malone being fired, that's how many championship head coaches get fired after? ? Malone, Bud, Vogel, Nurse. In the NFL, you get so much rope if you win. It feels like in the NBA, if you get less rope to hang on to if you win.
Wait, what did he say? Sorry.
He's talking about how in the NFL, like if you win a Super Bowl in the NFL, you keep your job a lot longer. In the NBA, it's like, oh, well, like they was trying to fire Bud the year that they won a championship. And it's like he had to win a championship to save his job. Do you know how hard that shit is? And then it's like they wait and then they fire him the next year. And it's like, bro, that's dumb as hell.
Frank Vogel got fired the next year.
Yeah.
After he won the championship. He got fired the next year.
That's what you get for coaching LeBron James.
He got fired the next year.
You know why though? Because in the NBA, the players have too much power. That's exactly why. In the NBA, they just have way too much power. In the NFL, coaches be living off one championship for a long time. Because what my man did with the Saints, Sean Payton did with the Saints, oh my God, he was living off that Super Bowl from a long time. And he survived allegations. He survived so many things. Even Bill Belichick living off a lot of Super Bowls, but they finally got rid of Bill Belichick. Like it just happens in the NFL to where they respect winning. John Harbaugh is another one. Boy, they respect winning. In the NBA, it's like they don't care so much, bro. It's because the players got too much power, bro. I just don't understand that, bro. The players have way too much power, and now you got silliness and foolishness going on. Your GM get power. Your GM get fired. Your coach get fired now. The operations get fired now. Your training staff get fired now because a disgruntled player said something.
Why are we acting like there wasn't foolishness going on in the 90s and 80s before player empowerment? There wasn't foolishness going on back then.
I don't know because Jerry Cross, he didn't get fired. Jerry Cross made his move and they lived with it. Jerry Cross said, "Scotty, I'm not paying you, boy.
I'm gonna underpay you for your whole damn career, and then I'm not gonna give you a legacy contract because I'm that I'm that cheap." Okay,
and they let it happen. And the Bulls won 6 of them joints.
Let this
They
shit
let it happen
happen.
because it saved them some
Let it
money.
happen in social media that a championship head coach who delivers 6 championships to the Chicago Bulls, his relationship is so strained with the front office, allegedly one little shrimpy man, that man says you can go 82-0, you're not keeping your job. That wouldn't happen in the age of social media because that person would be run out of town. Okay, so let's not act like
Not really. Jerry
look,
Cross is accomplished. They're gonna listen to it.
Players have been exploited in this sport long enough. If you think the balance has gone too far the other way, I think owners still making plenty of money.
But why do you think they're getting exploited? Like this is just like these new TV contracts are just new. All of this new money is new money. Like
because the BRI 50-50 split does not count for ownership and valuation. That's
it
why.
shouldn't, but it doesn't matter. Like
because the Boston Celtics are just sold for $6.1 billion, Jordan. There's a lot of money coming in, and last I checked, I ain't going there for Jerry Reinsdorf. I went there for Michael Jordan. Okay, these players carry
that's fine, but without that guy, there is no Michael Jordan. There is no league without these guys' bread.
So
I don't get how people cannot manage. I don't get how people cannot just rationalize. I'm putting the bread up for you to have a platform. I don't get that. I just don't get that. Like, how do y'all? Why do y'all always want to? Like, why do people always want to cry about how much money the owners in the league makes? Why do y'all want to cry about that?
I'm not.
You guys are debating. You guys are debating players and owners, though. What is this? Coaches are a completely different thing, and
even coaches, though. I think what about the player empowerment? Because the players get the coaches fired.
Okay,
but this has happened throughout history. It's not just now.
GMs fire coaches.
Magic Johnson is well documented of getting Paul Westhead fired 40 years ago.
Yes, but not 3 games before the playoffs started.
It was 10 games into the season.
He did it 11 games into the season. So I guess that means
that's a normal firing. Like that's a normal firing.
I think it's been going on all the time.
The point is players have been getting coaches fired for a long time. That's my
bro.
point.
If you want to have more power than players, go coach Division 1.
But look, all I'm saying is now though, it is a lot worse. Like it is a lot worse now. Like at this point, I don't know if you sign a 5-year contract as a coach in the NBA, will you do that 5 years? You might do 2.
How many coaches? Yeah, you're not.
Exactly, and that's ridiculous though. What am I supposed to build in 2 years?
Nothing. It's like
a coach can get traded though, by the way. But what am I supposed to do in 2 years? If I sign a contract, let me work out my contract.
You meant to lock in and figure
it out.
And
that's what's wrong
before, though. Jordan, the coaching culture in the NBA is just toxic. It's just a bunch of coaches getting recycled. You guys don't actually let the coaches put their fingerprint on their team. You don't let the coaches fully coach.
They better not.
It just sucks being a coach because once again, the players got billions of dollars.
Being a GM too, apparently.
Millions of dollars. The players got all this pool.
Calvin Booth was doing a bad job.
You can't really do too much as a coach. Really sign your contract, last as long as you can, and when it's time to go, it's time to go.
And just go to college. Just sign your contract, coach in the NBA, get that credential, just go to college. Forget it. Like what's his name did with BYU. Like BYU head coach. Just say, you know what? I'm just gonna be a head coach in college, bro. It is what it is.
Look, I've tried to defend Calvin Booth many times because this Denver Nuggets team, they won a championship and then they refused to go into the luxury tax. Right, to retain Bruce Brown, KCP. They lost a lot of valuable pieces.
That might not be Booth's problem though. That's probably the ownership telling him not to do that.
No, I'm not saying it's Booth's problem. If you're a general manager, you are someone who's making a few $1 million a year, and you're at a negotiation table asking billionaires to part with their money. But this is the thing. All I want to say is with the way league valuation is going up, the way these teams are being valued, with 2 more teams coming in with Seattle and Las Vegas, all I'm saying is if you're a billionaire out there who happens to stumble upon the panel and you don't want to put money into your team because you don't want to pay a little luxury tax bill, sell your damn team. There's 3,000 billionaires and there's 30 teams in the league. That's all I'm saying.
And they want in. They want in 100%.
Exactly, but I just feel like we have to have some type of order with these contract things because it's like, the fact that it's a lot of money being made and thrown around, is coaches still getting paid that, and they haven't. Monty Williams is one of them, and they haven't coached in the NBA as a head coach. Like Monty Williams coaches in high school, he got a damn good job getting paid.
Everyone's passing the
20 million to go coach in high school now. That's what he doing.
Everyone's
Who
passing
get
the
20
buck
million
here.
coaching high
This
school?
is
Monty Williams still getting paid for the Pistons.
the league.
Oh.
I don't have
And
no
he coached a
insight.
high school
He's
team.
living a life. He's living a life. He get to teach kids. He's getting paid millions of dollars.
He basically working. I
He
bet he
living
ain't.
a life.
I bet he don't
He
even
don't
got a
even
salary
work at the
there,
school. He don't even work at the
I
school.
say that, Ox. I bet you they ain't even paying him over there.
But it's
I
like
bet
it's like
Hell
it's like
nah,
they
he
got so
probably
much
just
money
keep
they
that
don't
money.
even give a damn no more. And it's
Yeah.
like, and this is all because there's no structure in this. It's like anytime somebody's disgruntled, we automatically think somebody needs to get fired. Like, let's work through adversity. If we're hiring a professional, I expect a professional. If I signed even a player, if I signed a player for 5 years, if I signed 3 superstars for 5 years, I want them to play out their tenure, and then on that 4th year, let's make a decision if we should keep them for the 5th year. But all this, it didn't work this year. Break the team up. Break the team up. Break the team up. Oh, the coach did break it. Oh, the coach lost a locker. Break the team up. It's like, yo, we got to get used to stuff. Like in high school, you play. I mean, you go from 9th to 12th grade with a coach a lot of times. The coach do a lot of molding from your 9th grade year to your senior year. He does a lot of molding. But in the NBA, they adults. Who gonna listen to this? Oh, it's the money. It's the player empowerment. We need to hear it. Like the players run the show. Nobody came to see you. And it's like, you right. But we here to play basketball. All of the showbiz stuff is cool. The bread is cool. But at the end of the day, the objective is to win. Let the main thing be the main thing, and that's to win. All of these things that these guys doing doesn't involve winning. So
now winning the NBA championship, is that the death sentence? Because it used to be being the coach of the year. Like if you're the coach of the year, you're getting canned within the next 2 years. So now
it started with Dwayne Casey.
It's now if you win the NBA championship, you're getting canned. So is that now the death sentence? So I gotta make sure that we don't win it.
Everybody need to be on edge because if I win a championship, I'm liable to get fired the next year.
I'll just quit before I get fired.
But you must well win a championship and say, quit.
Yeah, win a championship and quit. I don't know.
Yeah, look, raise the trophy and say, guys, I wanted to let y'all know I quit. Yeah. Somebody else hired me, and every time
every team gonna come calling too. Every team.
Yeah, that Mars, you might be on to something right there. If I win the ship, I'm quitting.
I'm about to leave before you fire me.
I'm quitting. Oh, right, I heard rumblings.
I'm getting back into these super chats. Gandhi KV2 said the firing only helps Jokic's GOAT case.
Hell nah, Jokic a coach killer.
Speaking of which, Gandhi KV2 said, "Is Russell Westbeast a franchise killer?"
What coaches have Russ
always
blame?
Y'all always blaming Russ. Russ do his job.
What franchises has Russ destroyed?
I don't know. Russ left the Lakers and now they got Lucas, so it seems like the franchise is doing just fine.
Yeah. What franchises has he destroyed?
Russ
left the Clippers and they look like a contender. So it looks like
they're gonna say the Lakers got worse with Russ. They're gonna say the Thunder.
They're not just saying it, Ron. It's true.
Yeah.
Man,
the Lakers did get worse with Russ. That's the objective.
I got to bounce.
Russ show up to work every single day, man. Russ show up to work every single day.
Absolutely not Russ's fault.
Yeah, Russ show up to work every single day.
No,
he don't
this
give a
isn't
damn
Russ's
who's out
fault.
there.
At least I don't think it's Russ's fault. I don't know what's happening in the locker room, but I will say that I actually feel bad for Russ in this situation. Like I mentioned earlier, I think he's having a really good season, a lot better season than I expected from him. And I think he looked at this like this is my chance to win a ring. And if you ask me, I think that chance is gone now.
It's over with, Rox. You're right. They derailed.
They were never going to win a championship.
Finish.
Anyway.
I don't know. I'm just saying they're contenders. You know what I'm saying? So
it's over with though.
Bird North said Booth out too, cleaning house.
I mean that's Mars. Calvin Booth been doing a horrible job.
Mars, I guess. Mars, I guess I gotta change my opinion now about who I had coming out the West. I'm off there. I gotta come up with some other bullshit.
Yo, Jordan, we tried to tell you Denver was not sniffing.
No, man, this shit definitely. You know what? I always wait on me to be wrong. I'm gonna just say it. I was wrong.
If they do get out of the West this year,
I'm gonna go on a victory lap for like 4 episodes in a row.
The super chat's right. Jokic GOAT case improved.
They got out of the West this year. That will be insane.
No, they got to win it all. If they win it all, Jokic the GOAT. I'll never say anything about. I'll never say anything bad about him.
Oscar Weber.
I'll delete the Greg Ostertag picture. Everything. Jokic the GOAT. Boy.
D Tucker became a YouTube member today. Shout out to D Tucker. And Average Joe sent through a super chat and said, "In all honesty, I think part of the firings have to do with OKC and Houston having this success." And ownership going, why the F are these young teams outperforming us?
That's terrible. That's terrible. That's terrible. That goes to what Jordan was saying about this copycat. You know what I'm saying? That's terrible, bro. Exactly. Yeah. You got to stop looking at other people's. Keep your eyes on your yard. Stop looking over that fence.
teams got to realize the value of rookie contracts. Though, I'm gonna keep saying that teams have to
True that.
realize the value of rookie
Rookie
contracts.
contracts like Peyton Watson and Christian Brown. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and
Alvin Booth
Christian
cooked.
Brown is drastically outperforming that contract. But like, if you are a contending team, it doesn't make sense to draft guys who are going to be a project. Like, you need to get guys who are going to come in and contribute right away, because you're going to have, especially in the first round, you're going to have 4 years of someone exceeding their value. Like, you have to maximize that when you're going to have a team that's going to have one guy on a super max, another guy on a max. Like, you have to get really good cheap players to make that work out. So that's why I think Houston and OKC to a lesser extent are really successful. Like, Chet and J-Dub are some of the best contracts in the NBA. Jabari Smith, Amen Thompson, Tari Eason, some of the better contracts in the NBA. Like, that makes sense.
Yo,
but they
before I
have to
read
be
this
bad
next,
to get those players. Those are all lottery picks.
Oh yeah,
All
in
lottery.
that case, yeah. But like, even just generally speaking about like the value of rookie contracts and stuff. Like, if the Sixers were good, Jared McCain would be amazing. Like, if Sixers were good, the value of a Jared McCain contract is extreme, because he'd be so valuable in like $4 million or whatever he makes.
But here's the thing: like, if you're not deep, you can't afford to take Nikola Topic at 12, right? Because you need that player to contribute. If you're not deep, I don't know if you can take Amen Thompson at 3rd. I don't know if you can, because he was still a couple of years away from becoming this good.
I mean,
right?
to be fair, the Rockets weren't very deep. I mean, when they picked him at 3rd, I mean, the guys just came.
We needed an upside, yeah. We needed an upside.
I mean, typically, if you're
I
picking
think
3rd
you
or
should-
even 12th, you're not
personally,
automatically-
Yeah,
Man was
good.
4th, by the way. Man was
Draft
4th.
philosophy, I say you always pick the best player available, regardless of position and all that stuff. But later in the first round, I do understand that most teams are like, we need a backup center. This is the best backup center, and we prefer someone who's 23 over someone who's 20. I do wonder, however, how much injuries do play a part in all this. If Deron Holmes plays this year, he is better than DeAndre Jordan. I don't care what anyone says to me. He is better. And I just think they would have a little bit more depth, and that might stabilize some of their minutes. I wonder if they're having all these
So this
problems.
Deron's fault?
No,
I'm not gonna blame someone for tearing their
I'm
Achilles in their first.
I'm just saying, like, look, like
That's-
Swiper's been basically rotisserie grilling Calvin Booth for like 2 months. Like, every day I turn on my timeline, Calvin Booth, you are Jokic's, I don't know, like, this is your legacy. This is your whatever.
He said he's Jokic's gatekeeper. Like, he's
there
the
we
one
go, the gatekeeper
controlling
to his
his
legacy, or whatever he said, right?
Yeah,
Literally
but people
every
just
day,
like love
Swiper's
blaming
just like
people, so.
spewing this stuff about like how it's all Calvin Booth's fault. And I'm not saying the guy did a great job. I'm just saying his draft pick tore his Achilles. What the hell do you want him to do?
Well,
His ownership-
ideally you
his
don't.
ownership
Ideally you don't
alongside
expect.
Key.
Well,
Sorry.
ideally you don't extend Zeke Naji for 4 years, 32 million. Ideally you
32
don't.
million ain't a big contract, bro. I don't know what
When
to tell you.
Zeke Naji is the 5th highest paid player on their team, and he's barely a rotation player for them.
That's a really disingenuous.
That's
It's
what he
lower
is.
than the mid-level, bro.
He's the 4th highest paid player on their team, and he barely plays. The 5th highest paid player. No, he's the 5th. The 6th highest paid player on the team is Dario Saric, and he hasn't played since the 2nd week of the season. They've wasted 2 of their mid-level ish contracts on guys who barely played for them. That's bad GMing. He then extended Aaron Gordon for a lot of money, whether you think he's worth that or not. That's up in the air. Michael Porter Jr. was extended for a lot of money, whether you think he's worth that or
Shit ton of
not.
money.
That's up in the air.
He's
Jamal Murray was extended for a lot of money, whether you think he's worth that or not is up in the air. The reason guys Zeke Naji and Dario Saric are the 5th and 6th most highest paid players on the team is because they spend all their money on a top 4, which many could argue 3 of them are overpaid. Like, that's bad decision making from your GM. No
I
other way
don't
to
know.
slice
I don't
it.
know
That's
how
bad
you can
decision-making.
argue. I don't know how you can argue that Aaron Gordon is overpaid. The other two,
Aaron
100%.
Gordon is going to be making 32 million soon. That's a
Okay,
lot
but
of
once
money.
again, context. You're talking about these numbers with the frame of reference of what 32 million used to mean. He's making the same amount of money as he's making less money than Jordan Poole. He's making the same amount of money as
Someone
Emmanuel
else is
Quickly. He's
overpaid.
better than those players.
They're also overpaid. That doesn't change the reality of it.
There's a cost of doing business. When you win a championship, unfortunately, you're either going to brain drain, you're going to have brain drain, or you're going to have to overpay. That's the way it goes. Okay. When the Raptors won a championship, Danny Green got paid more than he was worth. Right? Like, let's be real. He didn't get paid a fair contract.
Let's hit the Superchats though.
Like, they all got paid more, because when you win, there is like a premium that you get paid for winning. And when the Denver Nuggets won that championship, Bruce Brown got paid $22 million a year. I want to be clear about that. $22 million a year. The contract he was making with the Nuggets that year was $5 million. That's crazy. He got a 400% pay hike for the job that he did. And if he had the exact same season with the Phoenix Suns and they didn't win a championship, he'd still be a $5 million player. That's what I'm saying, man. You do it on the biggest stage, you get a boost.
All right, we got a super chat from Ant MJ235. Ant MJ said, Jokic can't beat the Wolves, ? Go and join forces in Minnesota with Ant.
Jokic with Rudy Gobert to protect him on defense.
He ain't going to Minnesota. He's going to push his way to either
So
Toronto
basically they just
or
up-
Chicago.
Oh my God,
Okay.
that's crazy, P. I did not see that coming.
Did I say like
You didn't see that coming, Jordan?
I didn't
said,
see that
Open your
coming.
eyes, bro.
Open your eyes and your mind. I also said Luka to the Lakers 2 days before it
If
happened.
the Nuggets want to restart, the only option is to just get younger Jokic.
Bro, if anyone knows where my countryman is going to end up, it's going to be me.
Restart with young Jokic. Just go take Şengün. We'll take Jokic off your hands, and then you can just build again with 22-year-old Jokic.
Bro, if
Just
anyone knows, where my
Hey,
countryman is
Jokic being a coach killer was not on my bingo card. I did not know this.
he's not a
about him.
coach killer.
Is he not? You sure? Sure about that?
Positive.
No.
DSG Piccolo said, we damn near
Better.
We damn well better fire that too many vet minutes, poor rotations, terrorist ass coach. I saw 4 guards out there.
Once.
F out of here. He hasn't shown me enough to warrant more years. Give me Malone or Jenkins.
Yeah,
I have no idea who he's talking about.
He's talking about Chance Billups.
Oh man,
He a Blazers fan.
Average Joe said Malone and Jenkins have both gotten fired, yet Glenn Rivers still has a job. Yeah, this confirms it. Doc has the Diddy tapes, Epstein files. He's got all the dirt, and he's blackmailing these owners.
why does everybody think Doc need to get fired?
Because he sucks. If Doc Rivers gets fired by the Bucks and he goes to Denver, I think I might die laughing.
Yo, can we just
Bro,
not forget
Doc-
who started
y'all-
this
y'all
whole
just
thing?
wanna get
We
Doc
need to
fired
blame
just
the
'cause.
team that started all of this, the Sacramento Kings. They fired Mike Brown.
Come on
I think
home,
it was
Mike.
the Bucks.
Come on home, Mike.
Trig 1211 said, if Malone is gone, I could see Jokic leaving.
We'll take him in Houston. I'm just saying. We'll take the
He
sacrifice.
ain't going to Houston, bro.
I mean, we do have horses here for him, so
I'm
Oh,
running a
that's
poll
true.
right now. I'm asking you guys, is Jokic up out of here? You guys go vote. And on your way to voting, make sure you like the video, subscribe, keep going in the comments. and
Jokic to
become a
San
member.
Antonio to make the best Twin Towers of all time.
That would
That'd still
actually
be number
be
2,
dope.
but that'd be cool. Styles Blackman sent through a super chat earlier in the show and said, apparently you can win a debate with Shaq and Jokic. Won't work because of clothes, shooting too much. and-
who?
that's Shaq
Oh,
and SGA,
because
Ron.
of Shaq and SGA won't work because of clothes, shooting too much, and 3-second calls. Dudley can guard Kawhi, and DJ can shut Harden's water off in a pick and roll. LOL. Worst decision of the entire PCL.
First of all, Ox brought up Jared Dudley, not me. Y'all wanna try to blame me for something Ox said. Ox pushed the narrative. He did it. He pushed the narrative in that second round for sure because he brought up all of that. Now, that's very disingenuous to talk about the clothes part because that was like 1% of the argument. I clearly
Don't
was just
worry,
joking.
Jordan. We know you won
So-
because of politics. It's cool.
No, I didn't win because I won
They
fair and square. I don't know about
the golden.
I don't know about. I won fair and square.
I want the chat to do. I want the chat don't get at Jordan. Jordan did his thing. Jordan
the
came and
judges'
debated
fault,
and did his job.
I won fair and square.
Who they gotta get at?
We need to know just one judge. The 3-0 judge. I need you to show your face. That's all.
I agree with that.
I-
Even Jordan doesn't think he won 3-0. So
Look, I knew it was a possibility that I could win the first round, but it was a low possibility.
There was no possibility.
It was a low possibility.
If 0 is low, then you're right. But other than that, Jordan, you did your thing. Congratulations. I've been shouting you up since that. I'm not trying to discredit your victory. I'm just saying 3-0 is crazy.
I agree with that. I agree with that. I'm just saying.
for Jordan to go to the finals.
I'm just saying. Regardless, we want to let the 3-0 derail my massive victory, my massive win. I still won the other 2 rounds, so it is what it is. Like
You know, it is what it is.
Oxford, like I said, on your own time, you
Bro,
reach
I'm
out
not
to
playing
Ticket
with
and
you
take
right
that
now,
up
bro.
with him.
Let's keep moving. I got to get to the gym, bro. I got to work in a couple
You
hours.
keep asking me who's the judge.
Yo.
I keep telling you Ticket got you 3-0. And you
Bro,
want to be mad
you
at
said
me.
you got to get out here.
You
Go
know-
ahead and
you know
read the
what I
super
found
chat.
I really got to get to the gym. I got a class that starts in
Right, I
30
gotta
minutes.
get to the
Me
gym
too.
too.
Me too.
Mars ain't got to get to no gym.
Oh no, I ain't gonna get to the gym.
Gregory became a YouTube member.
Shout
Shout
out,
out to
Greg.
Gregory. Dame the Great sent through a members chat and said, "Can we get some? Let's get to the numbers merch."
Yeah,
that.
that'd be good. That'd be fire. I need
love
that
to
merch.
have
Dave,
that.
get on that, Dave. We on that, Dave. Let's get to the merch.
We need some L basketball merch for real, but whatever.
MP13 said, "Chill. I'm gonna need you to put the belt to ass in the PCL. I need that SGA and Stockton finals. That's peak content."
Damn, just look over
Oh
me,
yeah,
bro.
I'm
Y'all just
also.
looking
I
over me.
I
bro. It's
actually
okay.
don't want to do that debate. I really don't want to debate SGA. Let's
Too
be
late,
serious.
Mars. If y'all
Let's be
both
serious.
make it,
I'm
that
really
debate's
not
coming.
trying to do that. But Jordan's gonna go to the finals anyway, so you don't
Mars-
Keep looking over me. It's cool.
Mars, you
Keep
trying to
looking
duck?
over me. I'm working right now. I'm working.
yeah, I'm trying to duck
Mars,
an
you
SGA
duck?
and Stockton debate. Yes, I'm trying to duck an SGA and Stockton.
Oh,
debate.
okay.
Absolutely.
Hey, Luke 777, also known as Otis in the chat, sent through an empty super chat. L Otis. MP13 said, "If we are being honest, Denver's roster got outpaced by the league within 2 years, and this is only the beginning. MPJ and Aaron Gordon are probably on the way out."
So
I
is
expect,
Jokic. So.
I expect MPJ to be gone. I expect MPJ.
Send him to the Rockets. We can use him.
We could.
Miss-
Yeah, we could.
Mr. Referee said, "If the Celtics win back-to-back, how much are they getting downplayed? And also, would they be the weakest back-to-back team to win?"
I don't want to hear about no weakest back-to-back
No,
team. They
the-
did it.
I
It
don't
would be
think you guys
incredibly
know.
hard.
I think the Boston Celtics are an all-time team. Like,
Yeah,
that's
they're a very good team. All
I think
time,
they're
I
an
don't know,
all-time
but they're a
team.
very good team.
the worst team to win back-to-back.
Are they
They're
better than
best.
Houston?
They're better than the Pistons. I'm sorry, they're better than them. But like, I don't know. I don't
You
know who
respect
the
the
worst
bad
team
boys for.
is. I respect him. I respect him. I don't know who the worst team to go back-to-back is, but I know I'm certain this Celtics team is better than those Pistons. I'm
It's
certain.
so crazy how we gonna just. You see how the language is the weakest back-to-back team.
Do,
Like
do
what?
y'all? Do
Oh my
y'all
God, you're
wanna
the worst
change
team to win
Do
2
y'all want
titles.
to change the
Yeah.
PCL topic? Hmm?
Hell
What,
no.
the worst back-to-back champions. That's like the worst MVP. It's like, oh my God, you're the brokest billionaire. Okay.
Yeah, let's not disrespect them though. Let's let them have that back-to-back, man. Don't
You
too
don't
many
go
people do that.
back-to-back and you're not an amazing team. So it's like,
Yeah, so let's not derail them with a
Although,
debate on who's the worst.
To be fair, yeah, the Rockets. Yeah.
But don't derail them by debating who's the worst. Don't
Yeah,
derail.
I agree. The best
Fit-
back-to-back.
Fit Jones said Booth fired Malone to save his own ass. He's trash.
Well, he
Malone
failed
is a
at doing
great
that.
coach.
He failed at
Yeah, he
saving
got his
himself.
ass, yeah.
He saved himself for what, 12 minutes?
I don't think Booth after all this, Booth didn't fire Malone. The owners fired both of them.
Yeah, the
Yeah, they
first thing
fired
I
both of
thought
them at the
was
same
the first
time,
thing I
probably.
thought was that Calvin Booth was scapegoating Michael Malone. Then seen the news, I was like, oh, okay, well, I was wrong about that.
Yeah, they both got fired at the same time. They probably got fired last night, to be honest with you.
When it just came out now.
Yeah.
Drink More Water said Mitchell and Jerome have a total of 625 minutes shared together on the court in 62 games. That's 10 minutes a game, so I don't know if he's making Ty a better player.
Ty Jerome's at a career low for his shots being assisted. Like he's creating his own shots.
I was just about to say that. I was about to say Ty Jerome is a shot creator.
I'm all for like Donovan Mitchell to me, best offensive player on the Cavs, best player. Him and Evan Mobley have the conversation. He's not responsible for Ty Jerome being a great player. I don't think he's responsible for that at all. But still, Donovan Mitchell is really good.
Hunter sent through the super chat and said, to be fair, David Adelman been solid whenever Moch is out, or say fuck it, and Jokic is just a player coach now.
Maybe hire his brother.
If David Adelman gets them playing defense, they have a chance. I'll say that. If David Adelman has them playing defense,
just hire him.
How are you going to do that?
Yeah,
Mars.
Mars.
You got that personnel to play defense.
If he
Jokic
wins as a player coach,
Just
if he wins as a player coach, I want him in Bill Russell conversations.
He can never get in Bill Russell conversations.
Yeah, and he don't. And Bill Russell could never get in his. I seen that crap talking about he a two-way player.
Shut
Bill Russell ain't no two-way nothing. That motherfucker was a one-way street.
Bill Russell
That's what he
two-way than
was.
Jokic.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
Bill Russell offense better than Jokic's defense. 100%.
Facts.
Easy.
Facts.
What?
Facts.
The same. That's a one-way street.
Facts.
Jokic's defense is non-existent.
Jokic defense.
Bill Russell offense is non-existent.
Communicating? You don't see him calling out every play. You don't see him blowing everything up. Come on, man.
Bill
Saying
Russell-
Jokic
I ain't
don't
never
play
Oh
seen-
my
defense.
God.
Bill
I
Russell's
agree.
Jokic
offense
don't
is
blow
better
up
than
nothing but a
Jokic's
toilet.
defense.
What is he
I
talking
agree.
about?
This is
I
why
agree.
Mike
That boy
Brown got fired.
ain't never blew
There's
up
no
nothing but a quarter
stats.
pound.
There's no stats for Bill Russell offense. I would
Bill
agree with
Russell's
Gilbert Arenas.
offense is better than Jokic's
No,
defense.
Gilbert Arenas said Bill Russell was the only guy the only black dude back in the day that averaged 30.
Different Gilbert Arenas. What's that got to do with anything?
No,
Bill
that's
Russell
true though.
offense is better than Jokic's defense. And Bill
Not
Russell's
really.
defense is better than Jokic's
Blowing
offense.
up.
No, that's a one-way street. Ain't no two-way player for Bill Russell.
Bill
That
Russell
was a
clear.
one-way street. My man was getting a
Ain't
rebound
never,
and
ain't
say,
never, ain't never blew up nothing but some porcelain.
here y'all go. Take it. Here you go. Take it. Get out of my hands.
Bill Russell.
Well, you guys know I had to go to the poll and ask the chat how they feel. What's better, Bill Russell's offense or Jokic's defense? Y'all
They're
talk
gonna-
to me.
they
It
better
looks like
not
Bill
lie.
Russell's
Dare
off
them
to a
to
good
lie.
start.
They
Nah, they
better
gonna
not
lie because everybody want to treat Bill Russell like they love him for what he did off the court. I commend you, but I'm honest, man. On the court, your offense was toilet, porta potty,
But what's
trash,
Jokic's defense?
stinky. At least I'm leading something. Look, Jokic is second in steals. Apparently,
Bill
what
Russell
was Bill
getting
Russell
offensive
in?
Jordan,
rebounds.
what was worse, Bill
Offensive
Russell's
rebounds,
offense or
crazy.
Dennis Schroeder last night?
Bill Russell offense. I don't give a damn what you say, Penn. Bill Russell offense stinks.
Dennis Schroeder put up a triple single in 32 minutes and they lost.
At worst, Bill Russell was an average offensive player. At worst.
No, at worst he was a horrible offensive player. At worst.
His, his passing was great.
No,
At
his
best- at
ceiling,
best,
Bill
Jokic
Russell's
is a
ceiling
bad
was an
player.
average
Ron,
offensive player. His ceiling.
See, Ron, why you gotta set this up for the PCO? I will fry this man on Bill Russell. Fry
Nah,
him.
I don't want to debate that because people get
Yeah, 'cause
sensitive.
you
That's
know
like
you're
that's
wrong.
like
You
no,
know
I'm not.
you're
That's like somebody
wrong.
debating Muhammad Ali in boxing. It's like, bro, you can't debate against Muhammad Ali in boxing. So it's same thing with Bill Russell. Everybody want to look at Bill Russell like he's
But
God.
Look though, Jordan, you got a 7-foot center that you can literally watch in the paint do this. Like somebody goes to the rim and dunks and lays it up. He's literally just
Not against Bam Adebayo in the finals. Not against them. He was changing shots then.
So when
You-
Bill Russell,
that's- okay, so
when
we-
Bill
we-
Russell
what was
has
that, a
30 points
5-game
in Game
series?
7, then what?
Yeah,
this
hey,
would have
he
played
can.
over
He
500
can.
games. You talking about a 5-game series?
You ain't watched
Everybody
the
can get
Olympics?
30.
You didn't watch the
Everybody
Olympics
can
this
get 30.
year? You don't watch the Olympics?
Yeah, I
You don't
watched
see
him.
Jokic-
I
you
watched
don't
him
see
damn
Jokic-
near beat
I'm
Team
about to bounce.
USA.
You don't see Jokic getting 3 inches.
Oh,
off
go
the
ahead,
ground
Ron.
trying to
Go ahead.
contest
Go ahead,
those
Ron.
shots?
Go ahead,
He's doing
Ron.
his best, man. He's doing his best.
MP13
That's ain't
said
good enough.
Jordan is talking about weighing the skill sets against the frequency of the usage of the skill within the entire offense, not the raw potential.
Yeah, let me tell you what I was talking about, Ron. I'm gonna be very quick. What's his name? Jason Tatum take all his shots. Shea take all his shots. Ant take all his shots. But somehow Donovan, even Jalen Brunson, but somehow Donovan Mitchell is this wholesome guy. I need to let my teammates get off for us to
It's
win.
not about
And
Bill.
I'm still
later,
being
Donovan
conversation
Mitchell's
as
still
the best
fucking
shooting
crazy.
guard. Trash. No, they done that because he not them. That's what it is. He's not them. He's not Tatum. He's not Shea. He's not Ant. He's not Brunson. He not that.
He's
That's
better.
why
He's
he do
not-
what he
he's not-
do.
He's not Tatum.
Better.
He's
He's better.
not better.
He ain't better than
Jalen
Brunson.
Brunson.
He's not.
He is
No, he's
better
not
than
better.
Jalen
He's
Brunson.
not better than Brunson. All
They
right. all right, go
tried to get Donovan Mitchell. They struck out. Okay. They wanted Donovan Mitchell. They wanted to build the shit around Donovan Mitchell. Don't act like they brought Jalen Brunson over there and be like, oh, you the superstar. Nah, Jalen
I'm
Brunson
pretty
was
sure
brought
they're much
in
happy
to
with
support
Donovan
the
Mitchell. I mean, with Jalen Brunson though.
Yo, they
Yeah,
say what they
I
want
think
right now.
I might take Jalen Brunson over Donovan Mitchell.
Oh, we doing this
I'm,
now.
I'm definitely
Oh, we-
taking Donovan Mitchell. I'm definitely.
Y'all not prisoners of the moment, man. Y'all.
Right.
I think you guys are sleeping on Donovan Mitchell. That's where I'm at. I think
Yep. I'm
Yeah,
sleep. I'm
y'all see
knocked
his
the fuck
not.
out.
Y'all see points per game go down. You just jump off a cliff.
Yeah, points per
but-
game went
so
down,
Jalen-
touches go down, and
so
wins
Jalen
go
Brunson-
up.
If his
Jalen
points per game
Yay.
went down, why is he averaging almost as many points per possession as your GOAT,
Yeah,
Anthony Edwards?
start talking about points per possession
Why does it-
when context
you're
matters. Everything went down, and they decided to, and they win more games. I'm agreeing that
Oh
it's
my
good for the
God.
team. I'm agreeing that it's good for them team. But I'm saying when you one of them ones, that stuff don't usually. You still become the guy. Like you be your guy with your production when you one of them ones.
Why I gotta go all out in the regular
Kinda.
season?
Shit.
Why I gotta go all out in the regular season and play Donovan Mitchell, who is damn near 30 years old? Why I gotta play him 37 minutes to appease you?
Because that's what guys do. Because when you a guy, you do that. I don't know why y'all trying to act like when you a franchise guy that don't happen. That's why you a franchise player.
Superchats, Ron. Jordan yapping again.
I ain't yapping. Y'all want to be nice about stuff. I ain't nice. I'm gonna tell you the truth. That's the
just
truth.
want-
He not one of them ones. He not one of them ones.
It's your
Straw-
truth.
Straw Hat Sale. We'll get back to this on Friday, fellas. But Straw Hat Sale said, which of the bottom 5 teams is the best fit for Cooper Flag? By the way, he's the fourth great Duke forward to lose in the Final Four. I know he'll be great. LOL.
Christian
New
Laettner.
Orleans.
Was Christian Laettner one of them?
I don't think they lost in the
Laettner
Final
ain't win.
Four.
Probably talk
They
about
won.
Zion, Paulo, and
Tatum.
I don't know the fourth.
Zion lost in the
probably
Final Four. I thought he
Zion
lost in
lost
the
in the
Sweet
Final
16.
Four.
I thought he lost in the
They
Sweet
lost
16.
Yeah, they
I
lost
remember.
to Taco Fall, right?
Well, maybe
Yeah, I
not
think they
Zion.
lost in the Sweet 16.
I thought they lost
Mike-
to Gonzaga.
Mike sent
maybe
a
we
super
might be
chat and said, Bron is yet to lose any series against the Golden State Warriors post KD. They sweeping the Golden State Warriors. Golden State
How many
Warriors
se-
only taken one
Not
game.
one series.
I see
How many-
LeBron's propaganda has
Is
worked.
that
Nice.
2023? That's the only series, right?
Is that one series, Mars? Yes.
Is he gonna try to throw the playing game as a series?
I hate that shit.
MP13 said, Steph is going to be testing that calf of Luka every chance he gets on the perimeter. He's going to die on so many screens, especially the illegal ones.
Yeah, JJ Redick can't give up that switch as much as he was the other night because he was giving up that Luka and Steph switch and it was going bad.
Keep him away from Steph if y'all want to win. Just keep
Yeah.
him away from Steph. Far away.
UNB said, I barely have faith in OKC. J-Dub is not that guy, and he's going to be the downfall of the team.
I'm not the highest on J-Dub's offense. Yeah, I still think OKC should get out the West, but I'm not high on J-Dub's offense particularly.
Mike sent through a super chat and said the Clippers ain't doing shit.
Thank you, Mike. The real Mike, not the fake Mike.
They will always bottle. There's a history of it. Until they show me, they ain't doing anything.
That's the real Mike, not the fake Mike. That's the English Mike.
It's crazy because the real Mike really should be in the PCL Final Four.
Oh my God.
Yo, everyone want to act like nothing is possible until it's possible. You know,
Like me
the
beat Mars?
the same
Anything is
people
possible.
complaining.
That's
The same people complaining about Derek White and Peyton Pritchard take too many shots, and they're not Steph and Clay. We're the same people complaining about Steph and Clay taking too many shots, or too many threes way back when, right? The same people that said the Toronto Raptors can never win a championship are the same people saying the Denver Nuggets would never win a championship. You understand what I'm saying? Like everything has to happen once, and then everyone thinks it's possible. Like when we were freaking out like 3 weeks ago when they fired a coach like with 9 games or whatever to go, and now you got a team that fired. And what if Memphis and Denver get out of the first round? And then everyone be like, oh, maybe it's smart to fire your coach the week before the playoffs.
Pin, what do you think is gonna happen though?
Honestly, I think Denver is going to be fine.
We will see you later this week, okay? We'll see all you guys later this week. Xavier NYC became a YouTube member today, and so did Alan Bowling Pins.
Damn,
Mike
Xavier,
sent-
use some of that bread.
Mike sent through a super chat and said, soccer is very toxic. You should see Messi versus Ronaldo.
People debate something that isn't debatable. Just
Dang, I really like this mic. The fake mic needs man. Fake Mike even got a black screen on his picture. We don't even know if that's really. What's up with fake Mike showing his face?
so you answer.
But speaking of
Mike
fake
back
Mike,
again.
Mike said, how you beat Mars? Say your point and then say the major point you think he would say against you. Then counter it in the same sentence.
Basically saying anticipate my counters and counter them before I can do it.
Appreciate the advice, Mike. I'm gonna take it.
Go ahead and try that, Jordan. I think you'll lose, but go ahead.
I'm gonna take it in consideration.
Skip Payless said, Mars, you lucky you didn't match up with Dion from Ohio.
Oh, for sure.
Facts.
Yeah, for sure. I wasn't about to get in a yelling match with him. So if he won, he won. For sure.
Condrell sent through a members chat and said the swiper delusional willpower space stations.
Damn, Swiper.
All of a sudden said only players better than Jokic since Mike retired is Bron, Shaq, and Tim.
Yeah, there's an imposter.
Respect Kevin Durant.
I don't have the time. I really
yeah, there's an imposter. There's an imposter in that group of 3, but it's cool.
Sorry Key said Otani better. I seen Swiper fall to his knees in a Walmart. Dub Mars.
What?
He's seen the news of Michael Malone. Fell to his knees right there on the spot.
Damn.
He's still right there. He ain't moved yet. Duce Rhodes became a YouTube member, so shout out to Duce Rhodes. And to everybody that's in here, make sure you like the video on the way out. Make sure you turn on your notification bell so you can know the next time that a head coach gets fired. Also, subscribe, become a member, and a couple things. From the Logo will be coming on. That's another show on the Player's Choice platform. It will be coming on at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Y'all tap into that today. Also, the PCL Finals is on Thursday. We got Chilltown versus Real Talk at 6 p.m. And then we got Mars versus Jordan at 6:30. We'll see if they're actually debating the worst team to go back-to-back or Bill Russell's offense versus Jokic's defense. You'll just have to pull up and see. And last but not least, this Saturday, Episode 7 of the Parlay will be dropping with the GOAT debate, the WNBA GOAT debate. Is it really Caitlin Clark? All right, y'all. We'll be back tomorrow, and I think we got an